NEET examination 2026. He himself is a MBBS second year student, but he is also a mentor to many of the medical students out in Maharashtra. So just to know the pattern, how it works, he appeared for the exam, and the most shocking details he told to Republic is that when he appeared for the exam, person sitting behind him, right behind him, when he asked him that how was your paper, did it go well, he literally pulled out 2 A4 sheets where he had answers to all the questions. Mind you, all the answers with the same sequence. There was not even a 0.5% difference within the sequence of the answers which he was possessing at that point of time. The second most shocking revelation was made by that very student is that one of his junior approached him and said that there is one guy at her father's office where he is trying to sell the NEET 2026 examination paper for some amount, but she was not really confirmed about it. So she asked him, and before it could be a confirmed thing, she already paid 50,000 rupees to that very guy who said that मैं आपको दे दूंगा paper. So these are the scams which are coming up right now, and exclusively on Republic we can see those screenshots. Over to you.
Right. Thanks, Revati, for joining us and giving us all these details. Now, viewers, it all boils down to the students. 22 lakh students who appeared for this exam will now have to reappear, in fact, for this exam. And we, in fact, Republic has tried to speak to some of these students who appeared in this exam. What exactly was this entire leak operation and how were they impacted by this? Take a listen to this exclusive conversation.
NEET paper leak scandal has created a stir not only in a specific state but in entire nation. Everyone had screenshots of literally people asking for 10 to 15 lakhs to get the NEET paper of 2026 examination. First, many students came up with this, but no one believed them. And one such example is here with me right now. I have Deepak Patil with me, who is a second year MBBS student, but he appeared for 2026 NEET examination, and the reason behind it is that he is a mentor. He does mentorship to various students in medical field for the NEET examination. But the most shocking part of this very case is that students approached him, and then they told him very shocking details. And today, exclusively on Republic, we are going to see that what exactly students told him. दीपक जी, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ कि आप ये जो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा है उस पर आप बात कर रहे हैं. तो सबसे पहले आप मुझे बताइए कि आपके साथ क्या हुआ इस एग्जाम सेंटर पे.
मैं 3 मई को एग्ज़ाम देने गया था. मेरा सेंटर लातूर के अंदर मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के, राजस्थानी मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के है. मैं पेपर देने गया. मैं एग्ज़ाम देने इसलिए गया था कि सिर्फ मेरा एक उद्देश्य था कि नीट के एग्ज़ाम जो दे रहे लड़के, उनकी मेंटालिटी क्या है, उनका प्रेशर क्या है, मतलब वो मैं उनसे जान सकूं. फिर मैंने उनसे एग्ज़ाम के पहले ही बातचीत की और एग्ज़ाम के बाद भी बातचीत की. बातचीत के दौरान मुझे जब एग्ज़ाम हुआ तो एक लड़के से मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा जो मेरे हॉल के अंदर मेरे पीछे बैठा था. मैंने उसको बोला एग्ज़ाम कैसा गया. फिर उसके बाद उसने मुझे बोला कि वो पेपर मेरे पास पहले ही था. बट मुझे शॉक लगा, मुझे लगा ये कुछ भी बोल रहा है. बट मैं थोड़े आगे जाता हूँ, मैं उससे बातचीत करता हूँ और तो मुझे अंदर पैंट से 2 A4 शीट्स निकालते हैं वाइट. उसके ऊपर डायरेक्टली पूरे आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे. बायोलॉजी, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, पूरे आंसर्स डायरेक्टली उसके ऊपर आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे. मैं वो देख के शॉक हो गया. और जैसे मैं 5:10 तक वो मुझे बताया, उसके बाद मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे ये डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली मैं उसका फोटो नहीं निकाल पाया, बट मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया. वो सोशल मीडिया पे डालने के बाद मेरे पेज पे वो ज़्यादा वायरल हो गई पोस्ट. और मुझे ऐसे मैसेजेस प्राप्त हुए कि लोग खुद से आगे आके बोल रहे कि हमको भी ऐसा मैसेज आया था, हमको भी ऐसा पैसा डिमांड किया गया था, बट हम कुछ कारण से नहीं दे पाए. ऐसे बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट्स हैं.
पहले हम आगे जाने से पहले ऐसा मैसेज आया था, मतलब क्या मैसेज आया था?
ये आप देख सकते हैं इधर. 6 अप्रैल को मुझे एक मैसेज आया था, जो मैं मेंटरशिप प्रोवाइड करता हूँ स्टुडंट्स को 100% फ्री. वो जूनियर मुझे अप्रोच किया और मुझे वो बताते हैं की मी तुम्हाला हे खूप ट्रस्ट ठेवून सांगते आहे, तुम्ही कोणालाच नका सांगू. माझ्या पप्पाच्या स्टाफला एक सिस्टर आहे, नर्स आहेत त्या, आणि त्यांनी मी या पेपर मध्ये काम करतो नीटच्या एक्झामिनेशनमध्ये, आणि मी तुम्हाला पेपर देतो, तुम्ही मला पैसे द्या, अशी मागणी काही लोक करतात. तो ज्युनियर ती मला मेसेज करून सांगते की मैं इसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं. फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि नको करूँ, मतलब ये ट्रस्ट करने लायक नहीं, इट्स फेक, 100% फेक. तो उसने आगे भी लिखा है कि वो 1 ईयर से मेरे से संपर्क के अंदर है. मेरे पापा के जिधर मेरे पापा काम करते उधर मेरे संपर्क के अंदर है और उन्होंने 50K पैसे ऑलरेडी लिया भी है. ये आप लाइव स्क्रीनशॉट दे सकते हैं.
ये 50K किससे लिया है उन्होंने पैसे?
जो स्टूडेंट है जो अभी नीट देने वाला है उसके पापा से लिए है.
ओके.
यस.
ये वो स्टूडेंट बात करिए जो इस साल नीट का एग्जाम
कि ये मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ कि नहीं. एज अ मेंटी मैं उसका मेंटर हूँ, मुझे बता रही है कि वो मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं, या पढ़ाई करूँ.
ये बात है. तो बिफोर वी मूव फॉरवर्ड, द मैसेज विच वॉज रिसीव्ड बाय दीपक पाटिल is the translation of that very message is that because as he mentioned earlier, he is a mentor, he does mentorship to various medical field students. One particular student approaches him and then she says that there is one guy in her staff where her father works. From that very staff, a person is approaching her. He's saying that I have paper, you can pay me for that, and then he's being constantly in contact with her from last 1 year. This is a very shocking thing, and already she has paid 50,000 rupees to that particular person. This is very shocking, and now we can see that this is a very big nexus behind it, because this particular NEET paper leak scam is under construction or was underway from last 1 year. So moving forward, दीपक जी आप बताइए कि इससे आगे क्या हुआ? आपको अभी ऐसे कितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स अप्रोच?
जो सोशल मीडिया पे मैंने पोस्ट डाली वो वायरल गई, कुछ लैक्स में उसको व्यूज आए, अभी तक मिलियंस में उसको व्यूज आए. और जो लोग उस ग्रुप के अंदर थे बट वो खरीद नहीं पाए, उन्होंने मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट भेजे, अनेक वीडियो भेजे, बट मैं वो सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया, वो भी वायरल चला गया. बट कुछ लोगों का ऐसा कहना था कि ये एडिटर है और एआई की मदद से हम ऐसे तैयार कर सकते. बट अभी एनटीए ने और सीबीआई ने एक कंफर्म कर लिया है कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है. उसके मेरे पास बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट भी अवेलेबल है और वीडियो भी अवेलेबल है.
ओके. तो आप हमें ये जो पहले टेलीग्राम पे आया था, फिर कुछ प्राइवेट मीडिया नाम का एक ग्रुप भी बना था, तो आपके पास उस रिलेटेड कोई स्क्रीनशॉट आया है कि हाँ हमसे ऐसी ऐसी मांग की गई थी?
यस, वो डायरेक्टली मांग की, वैसा स्क्रीनशॉट भी हमारे पास है.
तो वो स्क्रीनशॉट में क्या है बताना जरा.
वो बोल रहे कि फीस 2,000 दीजिए, फीस 20,000 दीजिए और पेपर लीजिए. जो पेपर बाय नहीं कर रहे हैं वो 101% नीट क्रैक नहीं कर सकते, उम्मीद ही मत करना. ठीक है. और कुछ स्क्रीनशॉट ऐसे है कि मतलब बिफोर पेपर 30K देना, आफ्टर पेपर 70K देना. और ये जो चार्ट से मतलब रिसेंट एग्जाम के 1 हफ्ते पहले है. मतलब पहले तो उन्होंने पेपर लैक्स में भेजा, अभी वो 1 लाख पे आ गए. पहले 10 लाख भी 15 लाख में भेजा, अभी 1 लाख के अंदर आ गए. उनका एक ही मकसद है, पैसे कमाना है. और उसके अंदर 2 टाइप के स्कैम हुए. जो लोग सच में पैसे लेके पेपर लीक भी कर चुके, वो पेपर सही था. और कुछ लोगों से ऐसे पैसे लिए गए, मैं पेपर दूंगा, बट वो पेपर फेक था. मतलब स्टूडेंट्स की जो है, जो 2 तरीके से यहाँ पर क्या बोल रहे हैं हम, चीट किया जा रहा है लड़कों को कि मतलब. और इस कोटा से भी एक ऐसा उदाहरण आया मेरे पास. वो स्टूडेंट ने अप्रोच किया कि
राजस्थान
कोटा से, जो इंडिया का मोस्ट बिगेस्ट ट्यूशन हब है, उधर से एक स्टूडेंट ने ही सबसे 24 लाख रुपए जमा किए पेपर दूंगा बोल के. बट वो पेपर नहीं दे पाया और उसके ऊपर वो स्टूडेंट ने कुछ तो एक्शन भी लिया. ऐसे भी प्रूफ हमारे पास है.
Now, viewers, on this entire NEET leak operation, we also spoke to Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta. Take a listen.
ये सभी एजेंसीज अपना काम कर रही है, सरकार अपना काम कर रही है. और मुझे लगता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जैसे लोग जो हर विषय का राजनीतिकरण करते हैं, उनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए कि देश के युवाओं को जिस तरीके से आप गुमराह कर रहे हैं, आपने ना कभी अपने समय में सत्ता सरकार को ठीक से चलाया. आज भी आपके पास पंजाब है जहां पे युवा नशे में लत होकर के, आपके मुख्यमंत्री नशे में लत होकर के घूमते हैं. आपके पास उन पे बात करने के लिए समय नहीं है, परंतु आप देश के हर एक ऐसा व्यक्ति विषय जो कि बहुत ही संवेदनशील है, उस पे ऊल जलूल बातें जब करते हैं तो उनको सच में हम सब जनता ये कहना चाहती है कि आप कृपया करके देश के युवाओं को गुमराह करने की कोशिश ना करें.
All right, viewers, now let's take a look at the other stories which are making headlines from across the country. Iran's foreign minister attends BRICS foreign ministers meet in New Delhi, strengthening multilateralism and promoting sustainable development on the agenda. External Affairs Minister S. Shankar greets Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Ministers discuss ways of stepping up efforts in key areas, including politics and security. Shocking incident of gang rape in the national capital, Delhi. Women allegedly gang raped inside a moving bus by driver and conductor. After a drubbing in West Bengal Assembly polls, Mamata Banerjee put on a black robe to argue about poll violence in Kolkata High Court. A severe storm claims the lives of over 100 people across Uttar Pradesh. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath condoles deaths, announces compensation in 24 hours. All right, viewers, we're getting some more breaking news development from West Bengal. Now, several slogans are being raised against the former Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee outside the Kolkata High Court, where she had put on a black robe to argue against the poll violence. Now, on your screen, you can see several people raising slogans against the former Chief Minister, calling her a thief. In fact, all right, viewers, so this is what unfolded right outside the Kolkata High Court, where Mamata Banerjee was appearing to argue against the poll violence. Now, the former Chief Minister was booed by people outside the court. There were several people raising slogans against her, calling the former Chief Minister a thief. Chor, chor. These were the slogans which were raised against the Mamata Banerjee. You can also see Kalyan Banerjee is just standing beside her. Let's take a listen as to what exactly unfolded outside the Kolkata High Court. All right, viewers, so this is what exactly unfolded right outside the Kolkata High Court. This is where Mamata Banerjee was trying to argue against poll violence, but as she was exiting the premises of the court, she was heckled, she was booed, and slogans calling her a thief were raised. All right, viewers, now moving on to another breaking news development. Now at BRICS, foreign ministers are meeting. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has now said that these crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. He also goes on to say that false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, calls upon BRICS members and states and all the responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of the international law by the US, Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran, which is a member of the BRICS, prevent the politicization of the international institutions and take concrete action to halt warmongering and bring an end to the impunity of those who violate the UN Charter. Now, at the BRICS Foreign Ministers meet, which was underway just a short while ago in New Delhi, we are looking at Iran, in fact, making a big statement, calling for all the countries to condemn the actions of US and Israel against the country. Let's take a listen.
Your Excellency, Dr. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs of India, Honorable Minister, why ready to fight with everything we have in defense of our freedom and our soil, we are equally ready to pursue and defend diplomacy. As I have repeatedly stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat, but we reciprocate the language of respect. As much as our powerful armed forces remain ready to exact devastating retribution on foreign aggressors, my people are peace-loving and do not seek war. We are not aggressor in this sordid situation, but the aggrieved. These crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. That false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, calls upon BRICS member states and all responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of international law by the United States and Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran, a member of BRICS.
All right, viewers, coming up after a short break, a woman was gang raped in a moving bus in Delhi. 2 accused, including a driver and conductor, have now been arrested while the bus seized. Getting you all the updates on the other side. Stay tuned to Republic TV.
कोई ग्लोबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, इट्स अ टेरर मशीन। अगर हम टेररिस्ट होते तो टेररिस्ट हमें क्यों मारते? आरएसएस ने बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी और आरएसएस वायलेंट है। वो तब गिरा जब इस देश के बहुसंख्यक समाज का विश्वास टूट गया। आप लोगों ने तो देश चलाने का दावा किया है, लेकिन आप लोगों का ना कोई हिसाब है, ना कोई किताब।
ये चोट निशान छोड़ेगी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
ये सब आप इसलिए कर रहे हैं ना सर, ताकि आप अपने आरएसएस को बचा सके। वैसे भी आप आरएसएस के भोपोई तो हैं। आरएसएस का सच है मेरी थीसिस, जो सालों से छुपाया गया है। But I am going to unmask the truth.
क्लास अब शुरू होगी because the professor is here.
ये जो भी हो रहा है, ये injustice, ये conspiracies, ये manipulation, अगर आप इसको terrorism नहीं कहेंगे तो फिर किसको कहेंगे? ये है मेरा आखिरी सवाल. This is my last question to you.
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of Hantavirus.
What we do know is that the Andes virus, in previous outbreaks, there has been instances of human-to-human transmission, mainly among close contacts, either providing clinical care or people who have had close physical contact.
For the decades that scientists have known about Hantavirus, they've almost always believed that the only way you can get it is from being in contact with the droppings, the dried urine of mice or other rodents, saying this is not the next pandemic, this is not the next epidemic, this is a cluster of cases, a very unusual situation that is not expected to spread its tentacles across the world and across the United States.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. VD Satishan named as Kerala's next CM. Venugopal loses out. Government bans export of sugar with immediate effect till 30th of September. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra says that government may eventually have to raise the fuel prices if the Middle East crisis continues. After DMK Sudhanidhi Stalin, TVK MLA Mustafa calls for eradication of Sanatan Dharma. One of the accused in NEET paper leak case alleges that big names have been shielded. Iranian Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi took part in the BRICS foreign ministers meeting. A woman was gang raped in a moving bus in Delhi. 2 have been arrested and the bus has been seized. President Trump is in Beijing for bilateral talks, receives grand welcome, travels with top business leaders. Over 100 people were killed due to a storm in various parts of Uttar Pradesh. West Bengal government makes Vande Mataram mandatory in all schools in the state. National anthem to be followed by Vande Mataram in school assemblies. Good afternoon, viewers. We are live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. Let's tell you a little bit about the big investigation and how Republic has exposed the paper leak scam. And we have got some updates for you. The Nashik connection is out in the NEET paper leak scandal. It has come to light that the accused Shubham Khernar was actually running a training center for the medical admission procedures. Shubham's office is situated within a luxurious commercial complex in Nashik's upscale locality. And Shubham, who by the way is also called Dr. Shubham Khernar, operates this office under the name SR Education Consultancy. Online records on Google indicate that Shubham's consultancy has branches not only in Nashik but also in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Pune, Nagpur, Bhopal and Bengaluru. The exact nature of the operation conducted within Shubham's office has now become a subject of intense speculation. What appears, so this is the update coming in, where we see that this accused Shubham was running a very, very suspicious network. His office was situated within a luxurious commercial complex in Nashik's upscale area, and he was operating his office under the name SR Education Consultancy. We are getting these updates coming in. This is one of the main accused in this case, and we have been getting you all these updates because CBI is also intensifying its investigation into the alleged NEET paper leak network.
बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है.
Okay, so we see this is Dr. Shubham Khainar. He is somebody who has also apparently never finished his medical degree. He's built a counseling business on students' dreams, allegedly selling leak papers for a huge amount of money. And we will, of course, try to go across to our reporters in a short while from now to really understand what the latest is. But speaking specifically about Shubham, the Magistrates Court in Mumbai has granted a 2-day transit remand of NEET paper leak accused Shubham Khainar to the CBI. Okay, now we can see this is the consultancy service that Shubham was operating. So there you can see those pictures which are coming in on your screen because it's come to light that the accused Shubham was actually running a training center for medical admission procedures. And as you can clearly see, this is called SR Education Consultancy. Now, in those pictures, which are by the way exclusive only on Republic TV, you can see that this consultancy is now closed. This is the SR Education Consultancy, and it says, we help students for career. But he was running a very nefarious operation there, selling leaked papers for a huge amount of money. One of the main accused in the NEET paper leak case. He was running his office under the name SR Education Consultancy. And online records and Google indicate that Shubham's consultancy has branches not only in Nashik, but it has branches in Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, Pune, Nagpur, Bhopal, Bengaluru. So it was not just Nashik where he was operating this so-called consultancy. He was operating this consultancy in other areas such as Pune, Nagpur, Bhopal, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, all these places. Now, the exact nature of the operations conducted within Shubham's office has now become a subject of intense speculation. What was he doing inside? What was really happening in this consultancy? Because he's one of the main accused in this case. He was running a center. And that is the pictures of the training center, so-called training center that the accused was running. So this is a Nashik connection in the NEET paper leak scandal. Shubham Khainar, one of the main accused in this case, already has been granted 2-day transit remand of NEET paper leak accused Shubham Khainar and to the CBI. So the court has already given 2-day transit remand of Shubham Khainar to the CBI. Remember, the crime branch had detained Khainar following a request from Rajasthan police. He was produced before a magistrate's court where the CBI sought his transit remand so that he could be taken to Delhi for further investigation. So this is Shubham Khainar. He was running a training center, exclusive pictures coming in on Republic TV. Now, we know that CBI has submitted to the court that the involvement of other persons from the states cannot be ruled out at present. But the custodial interrogation of Khainar was required. So one of the main accused is Shubham Khainar. The court has agreed to send Khainar to a 2-day transit remand. So we are seeing that this is just one accused in this case. There are many more, I repeat, there are many more accused in this case. We will be getting our viewers all those updates. We'll try to go across to our reporters as well. We have Revati joining us live from Sambhaji Nagar. Revati, now, you know, we just showed those pictures of the so-called training center of Shubham, and he had other branches. He also had a branch in Sambhaji Nagar, Revati.
Right, as you rightly mentioned, that one of the main accused in NEET paper leak scandal, Dr. Shubham Khainar, he himself is a doctor, and yet he is one of the main accused in the NEET paper leak scandal. The most important development in this particular matter is that he used to run a training center not only in Nashik but Pune, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, and he had many other branches as well. The most most important thing here to be noted is that he has a medical background, that he himself is a doctor, a BAMS doctor. His father is also a doctor and his brother runs a medical shop. So coming from a medical background, he started medical training center who would give training to various medical aspirants in Maharashtra, and they would seek help actually from him, and then he would approach these students and then he would try to sell PDF. I would like to repeat that he would sell these PDF. He first received this PDF obviously in a high definition format, and then he tried to sell it. He bought it for 10 lakh rupees and then he tried to sell it for 15 lakh rupees, and that's how, through training center and of course by approaching various coaching centers, he would try to sell those PDFs which he got to leak the NEET 2026 examination paper. And more probe is set into this matter, and as you rightly mentioned that there are very high possibilities that there might be more arrests in this particular matter, because scrutiny of who are all involved and who all were approached is currently underway by the CBI. Over to you.
All right, well, thank you for getting those details. I will be coming back to you for more on this story, as the Republic has conducted a multi-state investigation, and right here, viewers, will get all the top updates coming in. Now, let's move ahead to the other stories we're tracking. Congress has named V.D. Satishan as the next Chief Minister of Kerala, ending days of suspense and speculation over the matter. The Congress has picked V.D. Satishan over K.C. Venugopal, who has been considered close to the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, K.C. Venugopal. In fact, we'll get you all those updates. In fact, V.D. Satishan had thanked K.C. Venugopal for helping UDF win in Kerala. Let's have a look at this report as we tell you what is happening.
Congress finally announced today that V.D. Satishan is elected as the leader of the Congress Legislative Party. 10 days of whisper, waiting and political chess finally came to an end on Thursday. The road to this decision was far from smooth. The party's central leadership held wider consultation, with the uncertainty continued for days, even after party observers Markan and Vasnik met Congress MLAs.
The Congress Legislature Party had met in Thiruvananthapuram on May 7, 2026, and had unanimously resolved to authorize the Congress President to appoint the new leader of the CLP in the state of Kerala. Based on all these discussions, it has been decided that Shri V.D. Satishan be appointed as the leader of the CLP.
It's a historic footnote that the LDF's defeat in Kerala marks the first time in 50 years that no state in India has any communist party in power. UDF leaders V.D. Satishan secured a decisive victory, with margins exceeding 20,000 votes. The 2026 Kerala Assembly election concluded with a historic landslide for the Congress-led UDF, which secured a commanding 102 seats of the 140, cementing Satishan's influence within the alliance.
I express my gratitude. I'm very grateful to the AICC leadership, because our CLP adopted a resolution entrusting the Congress President to take a decision.
Okay, let's go straight across to pictures coming in. This is the other big headline which is making news all over the world. This is the historic meeting, Trump and Xi meeting, and we will get our viewers all the updates coming in. So this is a big update coming in on Republic TV, where we have cut live to pictures of President Trump and Xi Jinping. So let's tell you exactly what has been happening so far. There are many updates which have come in. US President Trump and his Chinese counterpart are discussing key issues, including trade, America's relation with Taiwan, and the war in Iran. as a meeting in Beijing. She was greeted with pomp and ceremony as they met at the Great Hall of the People a short while back. Trump has arrived for the two-day summit accompanied by CEOs, including Tesla's Elon Musk. It was an elaborate welcome ceremony as his motorcade rolled past skyscrapers lit with Chinese character reading Beijing welcome. So Trump got a huge welcome, a very, very enthusiastic welcome there. And President Trump saying he's very, very excited to make a good deal with China. So big updates coming in here, viewers of Republic TV. US President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping holding a meeting in Beijing. The White House said they had a very good meeting in Beijing. And the White House said in a statement that President Trump had a good meeting with President Xi of China. The two sides discussed ways to enhance economic cooperation. So back to updates coming in here on Republic TV. And Chinese President Xi Jinping has hailed the meeting as a new positioning of ties with the U.S.
先生们，很高兴为特朗普总统对中国进行国事访问举行国宴。首先，我
We will try to, of course, get more updates on that because we see that now President Xi is speaking. And President Trump has described talks with Xi Jinping as great after the nearly 2-hour-long high-stakes meeting in Beijing. But deep differences do remain because they don't see eye to eye on many topics. Now, soon after the talks began, Beijing released comments by Xi repeating warnings of potential conflict with U.S. over Taiwan. So Taiwan does remain a flashpoint here. So we're getting these updates coming in. These are scenes from the banquet hall. So this is the welcoming banquet which is kicking off. We can see officials and members of the U.S. delegation standing around the banquet hall talking to each other. Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Tim Cook of Apple are among them. Elon Musk already seated. And the room is decorated in Chinese style. And we are just waiting for more updates to come in. The leaders are speaking. President Xi is speaking. And a short while back, both the President Xi and President Trump arrived in the room as everyone stood up to welcome them. President Xi is starting a speech, and we'll tell you exactly what he's saying. These are pictures coming in first on Republic TV. President Xi speaking there. Then we can expect President Trump to speak next. So this is the banquet hall known as the Golden Room in the Great Hall of the People. And the leaders are speaking. Trump has arrived at the Great Hall of the People for a state banquet.
5-year plan for economic and social development. The over 1.4 billion people of China, drawing on the rich heritage of our over 5,000-year civilization, are advancing Chinese modernization on all fronts through high-quality development. This year is also the 250th anniversary of American independence. The over 300 million American people are reinvigorating the spirit of patriotism, innovation, and enterprise, and ushering in a new journey for the development of the United States. The people of China and the United States are both great peoples. Achieving the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and making America great again can go hand in hand. We can help each other succeed and advance the well-being of the whole world.
55年前，尼克松总统派基辛格博士访华，中美开展乒乓外交，双方官民并举，推开了中美冰封20多年的大门，成为当代国际关系史上重大事件。此后，中美之间以很多开放合作的故事，不断书写着友谊的佳话。新形势下，我同特朗普总统顺应两国人民 和国际社会期待，通过多次会晤和通话，推动中美关系保持总体稳定。
55 years ago, President Richard Nixon sent Dr. Henry Kissinger to visit China, and ping-pong diplomacy was carried out between our two countries. Through efforts of the two governments and peoples, the door that had remained frozen for over 20 years was opened, marking a milestone in contemporary international relations. From then on, China and the United States have written many chapters of friendship through mutual openness and cooperation. Under the new situation, President Trump and I, fully aware of the expectations of our two nations and the international community, have had multiple meetings and phone calls and kept China-US relations generally stable.
今天，我同特朗普总统就中美关系和国际及地区形势深入交换意见。我们一致认为，中美关系是当今世界最重要的双边关系，只能搞好，不能搞坏。两国合则两利，斗则俱伤，应该成为伙伴而不是对手。我们同意构建中美建设性战略稳定关系，推动中美关系稳定、健康、可持续发展，为世界带来更多和平、繁荣、进步。
Today, President Trump and I had in-depth exchanges on China-US relations and international and regional dynamics. We both believe that the China-US relationship is the most important bilateral relationship in the world. We must make it work and never mess it up. Both China and the United States stand to gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. Our two countries should be partners rather than rivals. President Trump and I also agreed to build a constructive China-US relationship of strategic stability to promote the steady, sound, and sustainable development of China-US relations and bring more peace, prosperity, and progress to the world.
尊敬的特朗普总统先生、女士们、先生们、朋友们，纵观中美关系发展历程，能不能做到相互尊重、和平共处、合作共赢，是中美关系能否稳定发展的关键所在。当今世界变乱交织，中美关系承载着两国17亿多人民的福祉，关乎世界80多亿人民的利益。我们应当共同扛起这个历史重任，推动中美关系这艘巨轮沿着正确的航道平稳前行。
Honorable President Donald J. Trump, ladies and gentlemen, friends, looking back at the course of China-US relations, whether or not we could have mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation is the key to whether the relationship can advance steadily. The world today is changing and turbulent. China-US relations concern the well-being of the over 1.7 billion people of both countries and affect the interests of the over 8 billion people of the world. Both sides should rise up to this historic responsibility and steer the giant ship of China-US relations forward, steadily and in the right direction.
最后，我提议为中美两国发展繁荣和人民幸福，为中美关系的美好未来和两国人民的友谊，为特朗普总统以及在座的各位朋友的健康干杯。
Now please join me in a toast to the development and prosperity of China and the United States and the well-being of our people, to the bright future of China-US relations and the friendship between the two peoples, and to the health of President Trump and all the friends present. Cheers.
干杯
Cheers.
谢谢习近平主席。
Thank you, President Xi.
现在请特朗普总统致辞。
Next, a toast by President Trump.
Well, thank you very much. This is a great honor. It was a fantastic day. And in particular, I want to thank President Xi, my friend, for this magnificent welcome. And it really was a magnificent welcome like none other. And for so graciously hosting us on this very historic state visit. We had extremely positive and productive conversations and meetings today with the Chinese delegation earlier. And this evening is another cherished opportunity to discuss among friends some of the things that we discussed today, all good for the United States and for China. And it was a great honor to be with you. Please.
感谢习近平主席。今天我们度过了非常美好的一天。首先要感谢习近平主席这一盛大的欢迎，那么也非常感谢在这一次历史性的国事访问当中非常慷慨地接待了我的代表团。那么今天早些时候，我们跟中方进行了富有成效以及具有建设性的对话。那今天晚上将是我们另外的一次机会，能够共同再次讨论我们今天早些时候已经讨论到的一些问题，以及我们的共同利益，以及我们如何能够为全人类塑造更好、更安全的未来。
The relationship between the American and Chinese people goes all the way back to America's founding. The first American consul to China, Samuel Shaw, arrived on the first American trading ship to reach these shores in 1784. The Chinese merchants had a name for the Americans. They called their visions the New People. 2.5 centuries later, that first connection has grown into one of the most consequential relationships in world history.
美国人民和中国人民之间的友谊可以追溯到美国的建国之初。那么，美国的第一任驻华大使萨缪尔·肖先生在1784年乘坐第一艘美国的商船到达了中国的沿岸。当时中国的商人是这样称呼到来的美国访客，他们将当时到来的美国访客称为一个崭新的民族。250年后的今天，这一个当初的友谊已经慢慢的演变成为当今世界当中最举足轻重的关系之一。
From the beginning, our citizens have shared a deep sense of mutual respect. Founding Father Benjamin Franklin published the sayings of Confucius in his colonial newspaper. And today's sculpture, recognizing that ancient Chinese sage, is carved into the face of the United States Supreme Court very proudly.
从一开始，我们两国之间的人民就已经有深厚的相互的尊重。美国的国父本杰明·富兰克林曾经在他的殖民报纸当中刊登了孔子的《论语》，而今天在美国最高法院建筑物的门前，可以说有一个雕刻，这个雕刻就是为了 向中国的这一名古代的圣人进行致敬。
The appreciation ran in both directions. Chinese admirers of President George Washington gifted a stone tablet honoring his memory to adorn the Washington Monument. It bears the words of a Chinese official who called the great general and statesman a hero among men.
这一种欣赏是相互的。那么，许多中国人非常崇敬乔治·华盛顿总统。那么，这些人当时就向美国捐赠了一个石碑，就是为了纪念华盛顿总统。目前，这个石碑已经镶嵌在华盛顿纪念碑里面。石碑上刻有当时的一名中国官员形容这一名伟大的将军和政治家，他们把他称为人中豪杰。
And across the centuries, this mutual esteem grew into a relationship that reflected the tremendous talent and potential of our two people. Chinese workers helped lay the railroad tracks that connected our Atlantic coast to the Pacific. American travelers to China helped spread literacy and modern medicine, and at the request of China's ambassador, it was President Theodore Roosevelt who provided the funds to establish President Xi's alma mater, Tsinghua University.
在过去几百年当中，这种相互的尊敬已经成为了一段全新的关系。这段关系可以说反映出我们两国人民之间巨大的潜力以及我们的努力和智慧。中国工人当初帮助美国建设了我们的铁路路轨，连通了美国的大西岸和太平洋沿海地区。美国当时早期出访中国的美国人也帮助中国提升了识字率，并且引入了现代医学，并且应时任中国驻华大使的请求，罗斯福总统也专门提供了资金，成立了习主席的母校清华大学。
As allies in World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt's mentions of the brave people of China, that's what they were, drew loud cheers in his speeches in the United States, and everybody loved what he had to say, just as many Chinese now love basketball and blue jeans. Chinese restaurants in America today outnumber the 5 largest fast food chains in the United States, all combined. That's a pretty big statement.
那么，作为二战期间的盟国，罗斯福总统在美国的多次演讲当中提到了勇敢的中国人民。正如当前许多中国人非常喜欢篮球和穿蓝色的牛仔裤，在美国目前的中餐厅的数量要比美国前5大快餐连锁店的总的店面还要多。
This bond of commerce and respect that stretches back 250 years is the foundation for a future that benefits both of our nations. The American and Chinese people share much in common. We value hard work, we value courage and achievement, we love our families, and we love our countries. Together we have the chance to draw on these values to create a future of greater prosperity, cooperation, and happiness, and peace for our children. We love our children, this region and the world. It's a special world with the two of us united and together.
那么，至于商业当中的纽带以及我们的相互尊重，可以说追溯到250年前，是我们将要构建的未来的基础。至于未来将会惠及我们两国的人民，美国人民和中国人民有许多的共同点，我们都崇尚劳动，我们都崇尚勇气和成就，我们都非常爱我们的家庭，我们也爱我们的国家。我们两国一道，我们将有机会基于我们共同的价值观，创造出一个更加繁荣、基于合作、幸福、和平的未来，为我们的子孙、为本地区以及全世界造福。
Thank you again, President Xi, for this beautiful welcome. And tonight it is my honor to extend an invitation to you and Madam Peng to visit us at the White House this September 24th, and we look forward to it. And I'd now like to raise a glass and propose a toast to the rich and enduring ties between the American and Chinese people. It's a very special relationship, and I want to thank you again. This has been an amazing period of time. Thank you, President Xi.
那么再一次感谢习主席，感谢这一美好的欢迎。那么今天晚上，我也想借此机会向您以及彭女士提出邀请，于9月24号邀请你们出访白宫。那我也希望，针对美国人民和中国人民之间深厚的以及持久的友谊，我提议我们进行举杯。那么我们这两国关系是非常独特的一项关系。
Thank you, everybody.
感谢。
Thank you, everybody, very much.
感谢。
Trump speak thereafter, President Xi. So both the leaders have just spoken at the banquet. Let's tell you exactly what Trump has said. Trump has described the meeting as a great honor. Trump is saying he received a magnificent welcome like no other. He says that he and Xi had a productive conversation earlier today with a cherished opportunity to discuss many things. It was a great honor. This is what Trump has said. He has invited Xi to visit the United States. Trump close. Getting these updates coming in. Both the leaders have just spoken at the banquet hall, and it looks like a meeting which has gone pretty well, with both trying to reset ties. Getting you more updates coming in, viewers on Republic TV. Let's move ahead to some of the other stories we're tracking. All 5 accused before the court. This is the NEET paper leak case. All 5 accused have now been produced before court. Mangilal Biwal, Vikas Biwal, Dinesh Biwal, Yash Yadav, Shubham Khainar have been produced in court. A special judge, Ajay Gupta. All 5 accused have been produced in court. So back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV. And coming at the backdrop of the investigation, which has really picked up pace, CBI has intensified its investigation, and there are multiple accused in this case. Now, 5 of these are being produced in court. We're getting some reactions. Let's go ahead and play them out.
बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है.
All right, remember that we're getting all these updates coming in as the Republic is also continuing its multi-state investigation. Republic has infiltrated the Telegram groups where the paper was shared, and Republic is getting you back-to-back updates on the NEET paper leak, really trying to understand that which are the players involved to bring accountability. Now, latest coming in that the probe is underway in the NEET paper leak case, and 5 of these accused are being produced in court very, very shortly. Getting you back-to-back updates coming in. Serious allegations on the NEET question paper leak have surfaced. We also understand that the Republic has got explosive details and screenshots of conversations that point to organized attempts to sell the paper. Let's put out some of those conversations
and screenshots. You can see them right over there coming in for you. And clearly looks like the papers are being sold there. Remember that the NEET papers, the guest paper, the papers were being sold for an absurd amount of money. So one message says, soon I shall upload full paper, kindly note that. So the explosive details are out on Republic TV, the screenshots of conversations that point to there was an organized and corrupt attempt to sell the paper. Also, viewers, we have been speaking to a couple of aspirants. Republic has spoken to some of the NEET aspirants. Take a listen in as NEET aspirants tell Republic what they expect next.
NEET paper leak scandal has created a stir not only in a specific state but in entire nation. Everyone had screenshots of literally people asking for 10 to 15 lakhs to get the NEET paper of 2026 examination. First, many students came up with this, but no one believed them. And one such example is here with me right now. I have Deepak Patil with me, who is a second-year MBBS student, but he appeared for 2026 NEET examination, and the reason behind it is that he is a mentor. He does mentorship to various students in medical field for the NEET examination. But the most shocking part of this very case is that students approached him, and then they told him very shocking details. And today, exclusively on Republic, we are going to see that what exactly students told him. दीपक जी, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ कि आप ये जो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा है उस पर आप बात कर रहे हैं। तो सबसे पहले आप मुझे बताइए कि आपके साथ क्या हुआ इस एग्जाम सेंटर पे।
मैं 3 मई को एग्ज़ाम देने गया था। मेरा सेंटर लातूर के अंदर मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के, राजस्थानी मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के है। मैं पेपर देने गया। मैं एग्ज़ाम देने इसलिए गया था कि सिर्फ मेरा एक उद्देश्य था कि नीट के एग्ज़ाम जो दे रहे लड़के, उनकी मेंटालिटी क्या है, उनका प्रेशर क्या है, मतलब वो मैं उनसे जान सकूं। फिर मैंने उनसे एग्ज़ाम के पहले ही बातचीत की और एग्ज़ाम के बाद भी बातचीत की। बातचीत के दौरान मुझे जब एग्ज़ाम हुआ तो एक लड़के से मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा जो मेरे हॉल के अंदर मेरे पीछे बैठा था। मैंने उसको बोला एग्ज़ाम कैसा गया। फिर उसके बाद उसने मुझे बोला कि वो पेपर मेरे पास पहले ही था। बट मुझे शॉक लगा, मुझे लगा ये कुछ भी बोल रहा है। बट मैं थोड़े आगे जाता हूँ, मैं उससे बातचीत करता हूँ और तो मुझे अंदर पैंट से 2 A4 शीट्स निकालते हैं वाइट, उसके ऊपर डायरेक्टली पूरे आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे। बायोलॉजी, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, पूरे आंसर्स डायरेक्टली उसके ऊपर आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे। मैं वो देख के शॉक हो गया और जैसे मैं 5:10 तक वो मुझे बताया, उसके बाद मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे ये डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है। अनफॉर्चुनेटली मैं उसका फोटो नहीं निकाल पाया, बट मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया। वो सोशल मीडिया पे डालने के बाद मेरे पेज पे वो ज़्यादा वायरल हो गई पोस्ट, और मुझे ऐसे मैसेजेस प्राप्त हुए कि लोग खुद से आगे आके बोल रहे कि हमको भी ऐसा मैसेज आया था, हमको भी ऐसा पैसा डिमांड किया गया था, बट हम कुछ कारण से नहीं दे पाए। ऐसे बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट्स हैं।
पहले हम आगे जाने से पहले ऐसा मैसेज आया था, मतलब क्या मैसेज आया था?
ये आप देख सकते हैं इधर। 6 अप्रैल को मुझे एक मैसेज आया था, जो मैं मेंटरशिप प्रोवाइड करता हूँ स्टुडंट्स को 100% फ्री। वो जूनियर मुझे अप्रोच किया और मुझे वो बताते हैं की मी तुम्हाला हे खूप ट्रस्ट ठेवून सांगते आहे, तुम्ही कोणालाच नका सांगू। माझ्या पप्पाच्या स्टाफला एक सिस्टर आहे, नर्स आहे त्या, आणि त्यांनी मी या पेपर मध्ये काम करतो नीटच्या एक्झामिनेशनमध्ये, आणि मी तुम्हाला पेपर देतो, तुम्ही मला पैसे द्या, अशी मागणी काही लोग करत आहेत। तो जूनियर ती मला मैसेज करून सांगते कि मैं इसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं। फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि नको करूँ, मतलब ये ट्रस्ट करने लायक नहीं, इट्स फेक, 100% फेक। तो उसने आगे भी लिखा है कि वो 1 ईयर से मेरे से संपर्क के अंदर है, मेरे पापा के जिधर मेरे पापा काम करते उधर मेरे संपर्क के अंदर है, और उन्होंने 50K पैसे ऑलरेडी लिया भी है। ये आप लाइव स्क्रीनशॉट
ये 50K किससे लिया है उन्होंने पैसे?
जो स्टूडेंट है जो अभी नीट देने वाला है, उसके पापा से लिए है।
ओके,
यस।
ये वो स्टूडेंट बात करिए जो इस साल नीट का एग्जाम
है कि ये मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ कि नहीं, एज अ मेंटी मैं उसका मेंटर हूँ, मुझे बता रही है कि वो मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं, या पढ़ाई करूँ।
ये बात है तो before we move forward, the message which was received by Deepak Patil is the translation of that very message is that because as he mentioned earlier, he is a mentor, he does mentorship to various medical field students. One particular student approaches him and then she says that there is one guy in her staff where her father works. From that very staff, a person is approaching her. He's saying that I have paper, you can pay me for that, and then he's being constantly in contact with her from last 1 year. This is a very shocking thing, and already she has paid 50,000 rupees to that particular person. This is very shocking, and now we can see that this is a very big nexus behind it, because this particular NEET paper leak scam is under construction or was underway from last 1 year. So moving forward, दीपक जी आप बताइए कि इससे आगे क्या हुआ? आपको अभी ऐसे कितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स अप्रोच?
जो सोशल मीडिया पे मैंने पोस्ट डाली वो वायरल गई, कुछ लैक्स में उसको व्यूज आए, अभी तक मिलियंस में उसको व्यूज आए, और जो लोग उस ग्रुप के अंदर थे बट वो खरीद नहीं पाए, उन्होंने मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट भेजे, अनेक वीडियो भेजे, बट मैं वो सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया, वो भी वायरल चला गया. बट कुछ लोगों का ऐसा कहना था कि ये एडिटर है और एआई की मदद से हम ऐसे तैयार कर सकते, बट अभी एनटीए ने और सीबीआई ने एक कंफर्म कर लिया है कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है. उसके मेरे पास बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट भी अवेलेबल है और वीडियो भी अवेलेबल है.
ओके, तो आप हमें ये जो पहले टेलीग्राम पे आया था, फिर कुछ प्राइवेट मीडिया नाम का एक ग्रुप भी बना था, तो आपके पास उस रिलेटेड कोई स्क्रीनशॉट आया है कि हाँ हमसे ऐसी ऐसी मांग की गई थी?
यस, वो डायरेक्टली मांग की, वैसा स्क्रीनशॉट भी हमारे पास है.
तो वो स्क्रीनशॉट में क्या है बताना जरा.
वो बोल रहे कि फीस 2,000 दीजिए, फीस 20,000 दीजिए और पेपर लीजिए. जो पेपर बाय नहीं कर रहे हैं वो 101% नीट क्रैक नहीं कर सकते, उम्मीद ही मत करना. ठीक है. और कुछ स्क्रीनशॉट ऐसे है कि मतलब बिफोर पेपर 30K देना, आफ्टर पेपर 70K देना. और ये जो चार्ट से मतलब रिसेंट एग्जाम के 1 हफ्ते पहले है. मतलब पहले तो उन्होंने पेपर लैक्स में भेजा, अभी वो 1 लाख पे आ गए. पहले 10 लाख भी 15 लाख में भेजा, अभी 1 लाख के अंदर आ गए. उनका एक ही मकसद है, पैसे कमाना है. और उसके अंदर 2 टाइप के स्कैम हुए. जो लोग सच में पैसे लेके पेपर लीक भी कर चुके, वो पेपर सही था, और कुछ लोगों से ऐसे पैसे लिए गए मैं पेपर दूंगा बट वो पेपर फेक था. मतलब स्टूडेंट्स की जो है, जो 2 तरीके से यहाँ पर क्या बोल रहे हैं हम, चीट किया जा रहा है लड़कों को, कि मतलब. और इस कोटा से भी एक ऐसा उदाहरण आया मेरे पास. वो स्टूडेंट ने अप्रोच किया कि
राजस्थान
कोटा से, जो इंडिया का मोस्ट बिगेस्ट ट्यूशन हब है, उधर से एक स्टूडेंट ने ही सबसे 24 लाख रुपए जमा किए पेपर दूंगा बोल के, बट वो पेपर नहीं दे पाया, और उसके ऊपर वो स्टूडेंट ने कुछ तो एक्शन भी लिया. ऐसे भी प्रूफ हमारे पास है.
All right, let's go straight across to my colleague Harsh, who's joining us. There's a whistleblower that the public spoke to. You just heard that, viewers. And the whistleblower is telling what was the modus operandi of these accused. You know, how they tried to sell the paper. So he was just describing the kind of messages, the conversation, all the explosive details. Harsh, yes. Take our viewers through latest coming in. We also know that all 5 accused have been produced in court. Over to you, Harsh.
Well, right now, this is the latest that we are saying, that the 5 key accused in the NEET paper leak have now been presented. In fact, here is a special hearing by CBI. Now, CBI has presented all of these 5 accused in this hearing. Now, let me also read out the details of these individuals who have been presented before this special court in Delhi. Shubham Khairnar, who is from Nashik, Mangilal Biwal, Vikas Biwal and Dinesh Biwal. These 3 individuals have been apprehended from Jaipur in Rajasthan, and Yash Yadav, who has been detained from Gurgaon in Haryana. Now, these are the details of the individuals, in fact, that we are fetching. And these are, in fact, the very individuals who are involved in this paper leak and are now being presented before a special court by the Central Bureau of Investigation at the Rouse Avenue Court in New Delhi. This is a special hearing that has been organized, and all of these individuals who have been detained by the Central Bureau of Investigation are now being presented before the court. Now, this is a big breaking news that we are fetching for our viewers, that all of these individuals who have been apprehended and detained from different locations across India are now being presented before the court. And earlier we also saw at least 16 people, 16 individuals have been detained across different locations in India.
All right, Harsh. Yes, absolutely. And we have also
the mastermind Manish Yadav was also...
Absolutely, Harsh. I'll be coming back to you for more. All 5 accused have been produced in court. And we have multiple players there, multiple accused. The CBI really trying to understand who played what role here. We also spoke to Delhi CM Rekha Gupta. Let's play out that reaction.
सभी एजेंसीज अपना काम कर रही है, सरकार अपना काम कर रही है और मुझे लगता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जैसे लोग जो हर विषय का राजनीतिकरण करते हैं, उनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए कि देश के युवाओं को जिस तरीके से आप गुमराह कर रहे हैं, आपने ना कभी अपने समय में सत्ता सरकार को ठीक से चलाया। आज भी आपके पास पंजाब है जहां पे युवा नशे में लत होकर के, आपके मुख्यमंत्री नशे में लत होकर के घूमते हैं। आपके पास उन पे बात करने के लिए समय नहीं है, परंतु आप देश के हर एक ऐसा व्यक्ति विषय जो कि बहुत ही संवेदनशील है, उस पे ऊल जलूल बातें जब करते हैं तो उनको सच में हम सब जनता ये कहना चाहती है कि आप कृपया करके देश के युवाओं को गुमराह करने की कोशिश ना करें।
And viewers, also the big story we're tracking, which is happening here in the national capital, foreign ministers are meeting. Iranian foreign minister Abbas Araghchi says that these crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. So Iran urges BRICS to condemn US-Israel for the war which is continuing. And he continues to say that that false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran therefore calls upon BRICS member states and all responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of international law by the US and Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran. A member of the BRICS prevent the other politicalization of international institutions and take concrete steps to halt warmongering. So essentially, Iran is urging the BRICS to condemn the US-Israel for the situation that is unfolding when it comes to the war. I will just go ahead and play out what the foreign minister of Iran had to say.
Your Excellency, Dr. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs of India, Honorable Minister, why ready to fight with everything we have in defense of our freedom and our soil, we are equally ready to pursue and defend diplomacy. As I have repeatedly stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat, but we reciprocate the language of respect. As much as our powerful armed forces remain ready to exact devastating retribution on foreign aggressors, people are peace-loving and do not seek war. We are not aggressor in this sordid situation, but the aggrieved. These crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. That false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, calls upon BRICS member states and all responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of international law by the United States and Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran, a member of BRICS. Prevent the politicization of international institutions and take concrete action to halt warmongering and to bring an end to the impunity of those who violate the UN Charter. Those who pursue reckless adventures may believe it furthers their geopolitical interests. But as consumers and governments around the world now sense and understand, regional instability is a lose-lose proposition for all sides, including the aggressors. To virtually everyone in this room, our resistance against US bullying is not an unfamiliar battle. So many of us encounter slight variations of the same repugnant coercion. It is high time for us to jointly step up and work towards making clear that those practices belong in the dustbin of history. Today, our nations are closer to one another than ever before, and we cannot ignore the common and dangerous challenge we all face. History has shown that empires in decline will stop at nothing to arrest their inevitable fates. A wounded animal will desperately claw and roar on its way down.
Taking a short break, RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra says that government may eventually have to raise the fuel prices if Middle East crisis continues. Stay tuned. We will continue to be live in breaking.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे।
अरे ये डिबेट बाहर की सोचे विकी। डिबेट यानी विवाद। भारत विवाद नहीं संवाद यानी कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिस्कशन, इसमें भरोसा लगता है।
सच नरेट नहीं करना होता, नरेटिव को सच बनाना होता है।
जब भी भगवे के ओर कोई कालिक दिखता है तो उसी स्याही से इतिहास लिखा जाता है।
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation, asking citizens to save fuel, avoid unnecessary travel, and even work from home if possible. This urgent appeal comes because global tensions are creating a massive energy crisis that directly threatens India. India currently imports up to 90% of the crude oil it needs to survive, and more than half of that oil comes from the Middle East. But the country is currently facing a massive challenges due to the blockade caused by the US-Iran conflict. And right in the middle of this dangerous situation, an event is about to take place that could make things much.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
कोई ग्लोबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, इट्स अ टेरर मशीन।
अगर हम टेररिस्ट होते तो टेररिस्ट हमें क्यों मारते?
आरएसएस ने बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी और आरएसएस वायलेंट है।
वो तब गिरा जब इस देश के बहुसंख्यक समाज का विश्वास टूट गया।
आप लोगों ने तो देश चलाने का दावा किया है, लेकिन आप लोगों का ना कोई हिसाब है ना कोई किताब।
ये चोट निशान छोड़ेगी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है?
स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of Hantavirus.
What we do know is that the Andes virus, in previous outbreaks, there has been instances of human-to-human transmission, mainly among close contacts, either providing clinical care or people who have had close physical contact.
For the decades that scientists have known about Hantavirus, they've almost always believed that the only way you can get it is from being in contact with the droppings, the dried urine of mice or other rodents. Saying this is not the next pandemic, this is not the next epidemic, this is a cluster of cases, a very unusual situation that is not expected to spread its tentacles across the world and across the United States. we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of hantavirus. It's called an Andes virus. It's a hantavirus from South America. And it's the one type of hantavirus that scientists suspect may be able to spread from person to person. For the decades that scientists have known about hantavirus, they've almost always believed that the only way you can get it is from being in contact with the droppings, the dried urine of mice or other rodents. Different viruses have different abilities to spread. Some, like measles, can spread like wildfire. Others are harder to spread. You have to be in very close contact with someone who's very sick, who has a lot of symptoms. This hantavirus, if it's spreading from person to person, seems to be in that latter. Health officials say the general public does not need to be worried about hantavirus. It's still rare. Officials are saying this is not the next pandemic. This is not the next epidemic. This is a cluster of cases, a very unusual situation that is not expected to spread its tentacles across the world and across the United States. Well, investigators are still nailing down exactly what's going on.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
ये सब आप इसलिए कर रहे हैं ना सर, ताकि आप अपने आरएसएस को बचा सके। वैसे भी आप आरएसएस के बोपोई तो हैं। आरएसएस का सच है मेरी थीसिस, जो सालों से छुपाया गया है। But I am going to unmask the truth.
क्लास अब शुरू होगी because the professor is here.
ये जो भी हो रहा है, ये injustice, ये conspiracies, ये manipulation, अगर आप इसको terrorism नहीं कहेंगे तो फिर किसको कहेंगे? ये है मेरा आखिरी सवाल. This is my last question to you.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation, asking citizens to save fuel, avoid unnecessary travel, and even work from home if possible. This urgent appeal comes because global tensions are creating a massive energy crisis that directly threatens in.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Top headlines. VD Satishan named as Kerala's next CM. Venugopal loses out. Government bans export of sugar with immediate effect till 30th of September. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra says the government may eventually have to raise fuel prices if Middle East crisis continues. Our DMK's Udaynidhi Stalin TVK MLA Mustafa calls for eradication of Sanatan Dharma. One of the accused in NEET paper leak case alleges that the big names have been shielded. Iranian Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi took part in BRICS foreign ministers meeting. A woman was gang raped in a moving bus in Delhi. 2 have been arrested and the bus has been seized. President Trump is in Beijing for bilateral talks. He's traveling with top business leaders and received a grand welcome. Over 100 killed due to storms in various parts of Uttar Pradesh. Bengal government makes a Vande Mataram mandatory in all schools in state. National anthem will be followed by Vande Mataram in school assemblies.
Good evening, you with Republic. The top focus today in the Pune angle of the NEET paper leak case. The crime branch has now detained Sanjay Vaghmare. He's 46 years, a beautician who runs her own beauty parlor in Pune in Sukh Sagar Nagar. Now, investigations reveal 10 lakh rupees was deposited into her bank accounts from as many as 21 different accounts during the NEET examination period, suspected to be advance payment for the leak question papers. Along with her, there was a second-year engineering student, Omkar, from Wagholi, an Ayurvedic doctor from Junar, and Dhananjay Lokhande, also from Wagholi, under investigation for their involvement. I want to go across to Swarali to get more details. Police sources state that Vaghmare has also admitted to knowing these people in the past. I want to go across. Swarali, what is it that you are picking up? 10 lakhs deposited from 21 accounts. Republic's exclusive access details on the NEET leak probe.
Yes, that's true. Republic has exclusively access detail in the Pune angle in this entire NEET scam. Let me tell you, if we specifically talk about Manisha Vaghmare, who is a 46-year beautician, she has her own beauty parlor, and across the time of this entire NEET procedure, these 10 lakh rupees were being deposited through 21 different accounts. Now, let me tell you, currently CBI is investigating the owners about the whereabouts and the actual details of the owners of these 21 accounts, but it is suspected that these were being deposited in relation to the transactions for the buying or selling of the NEET papers, on the other hand, related transactions. Now, let me tell you, she has also accepted, according to the highly placed sources in the police official department, she has accepted that she was knowing accused since last 3 years, but further she has not revealed the information about the exact delivery date of this paper. All these angles are being investigated right now, with Manisha Vaghmare, Omkar, who is a second-year engineering student, is also being detained and investigated. On the other hand, Dhananjay Lokhande, who is Ayurvedic doctor, is from Junnar and is detained from Wagholi area of Pune, is also being detained, and all of them are being investigated right now, but this can be a major lead in this entire NEET scam. Let me also tell you how Manisha Vaghmare is suspected to be coming in contact with this entire syndicate. 2 years ago, her daughter was supposed to give a NEET examination, and at that time, through social media handle, she came in contact with the syndicate members, and that's how she got involved into this entire process. All the alleged suspicions are being investigated right now. Back to you.
All right. I also want to introduce my colleague Revati, who's joining us now, and we're also going to go across to more breaking news that's coming in. I want Swarali and Revati to be with us. This is the new breaking news that's also coming in, viewers. The CBI has entered Latur in Maharashtra, and they have discovered more details that a retired professor who was reportedly involved in setting the question papers for the examination was also involved. I want to go to Revati for details. Revati, you've given us details through your sources that the professor who retired 3 to 4 years ago is believed to be a key link in the Latur connection that's related to the paper setting process. Following this, Revati, what is the CBI now doing? It's actively conducting searches and interrogation. Give us more details.
Right, as you rightly mentioned, that there are more and more connections coming up in this NEET scam, because the CBI has set probe in this particular matter, and more people who were approached and who approached the students are under scrutiny at the moment. And now the latest development is coming up from Latur, where a former principal of a specific college, the college is not mentioned yet, he is detained by the CBI for these suspected activities in this particular NEET scam. Along with him, there are more 4 detains in Maharashtra. First, we know of Shubham Khainar, who is one of the prime accused from Maharashtra, who is arrested, by the way, now. Also, along with him, his friend Dhananjay Lokhande, who is also a BMS student, is detained by the CBI, and he is questioned at the moment. Along with him, Manisha Vaghmare, who runs a beauty parlor in Pune, and her husband is a dentist. So these are the detains which are currently made in Maharashtra by the CBI, and a probe is set into this matter. So as of now, the development is coming up in the Latur case. There are also more connections that might come up in the upcoming time, because it is said that there are more and more connections to this, because as a principal, a former principal is involved in this particular matter. Over to you.
It's a full story. We're going to track the exact extent of that conspiracy, identifying other individuals involved, and also the network and how deep this real read is. Now, viewers, the other big story that we're tracking at this time, the Bar Council of India has written to the Bar Council. But first, we're going to go across to the breaking news coming in. VD Satashan's reaction and interview coming in from my colleague Sankar. Take a look.
Hearty congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of Republic TV.
Thank you.
Sir, finally, after 10 years, UDF came back to power, that too with a stunning margin. So what do you want to say to the public, how it has been achieved? What was the efforts you made into reality, and how it could be achieved?
Our coalition, Team UDF, worked together as a single party. And All India Congress Committee supported us in everything. And we worked together, organization set up, thousands of workers worked together. They worked hard. And this is the result of their hard work. And we offered many things to the people. We discussed about the future Kerala. And we offered the people that we will create a new era in Kerala. That we will bring back Kerala as the #1 state in India. We are going through a vulnerable situation. Our fiscal situation is very pathetic. Even then, we have alternatives. We are the first opposition in the history of India. Started 2 years back for the alternatives. We have been criticizing the government, we have been exposing the government, but wherever the government failed, we have alternatives. So, be prepared in major sectors, health, education, infrastructure, in industry, everywhere. We have prepared documents, Pakka documents. We discuss with experts. Now we are going to implement those documents. That is our plan. We have a future plan in many areas. And dream projects like coastal shipping, aviation projects, and in the agriculture sector, we have innovative programs, innovative approach. We offer the people of Kerala good governance,
yes, sir,
without corruption.
So you have everything in mind in advance, even before your friend coming to power, because it's whenever you speak, so you had it in mind that how the government should go ahead. So you were already aware that the UDF would have come to power even before the votes were counted.
That you know, I have already predicted that there are 26 surveys, national surveys and state surveys. Only one survey predicted that we may get 90 seats. But I have predicted that we will get more than 100 seats. You know?
Yes,
and I said 12 ministers will lose the election. 13 ministers lost their election. Yeah. So we have election engineering. We have very good work, election work everywhere. That's social engineering, everything we have done. And there was a credibility in our words. People believed that. And we have taken a pakka, adamant secular stand without any compromise. Wherever, whenever some religious leaders started hate campaign, we spoke to them, stop it. Stop it, don't repeat it.
Okay. What is the challenge you see ahead in the government? What challenges?
Government is the fiscal situation. I have already told you in many sectors. For our allegation against government was the health Kerala is in ventilator. So we have to survive. Then brain drain is happening everywhere. Higher education is collapsed. And infrastructure development is going on, not going on. And the coastal area, the situation of people is very bad, and the agriculture sector, they are not getting minimum support price. They are in trouble. There is wildlife attack. So we have to take many steps.
You have a number of things ahead to do, and you have on top of all, my another question is the votes were counted on May 4th, and there was a delay in fixing the CM.
No, I don't think that this is a delay. This is a delay. Congress party is a democratic party. We convened our CLP meeting and adopted a resolution entrusting the Congress president to select the CLP leader. The Congress president and Sri Rahul ji, with the blessings of Madam Sonia ji, they started that democratic process. They have discussed with all the MLAs, all the MPs, all the working committee members, all the former PCC presidents, and many senior leaders. They even discussed with the cross-section of the people across Kerala. Where is it happening? In BJP, it is happening? No, somebody is taking decision somewhere. I am proud of that. My party has been doing a democratic process. Only after then they have finalized, they have taken a decision. In CPM it is not happening. In BJP it is not happening. No other party is happening. In Congress party only.
Will there be any Kadakapuratu when you go into
that? You know, that I am very humble. I cannot say. I am comparatively junior also. But
and one more thing, sir. So this is the 10th or 11th day after the votes were counted. And there were in the beginning, KC Venugopal's were named in the forefront. But when we see the ground reality, a good number of people were coming out to the streets in support of you, and it exposed the kind of support and the exposure you had in the grassroots level. And how could you, I don't think that any other leader ever in the Congress party got such a support from the grassroots level. So what was the magic behind that?
That I have been working hard. When I took over this position in 2021, our situation, what was our situation? We were only 41. Now it is 102. Then we won almost all the by-elections, parliament election, local body election. The people and party workers have been observing all these things. And both the leaders are senior to me. They are my leaders also. Ramesh Chennittala was my senior leader. KC Venugopal is my contemporary. Even then he is my leader. Compared to them, I am junior. But party entrusted me this position.
One controversial question, is Chennittala unhappy?
No, nobody will be unhappy. We are all united. We will work together. We will work together. He is a senior person. He is a leader to me. He is a leader. He is my leader. We will discuss everything.
Okay. And about the CLP meeting?
That it has to be convened at 5:35.
Taking ceremony?
We are waiting for the observers coming from Delhi. Okay, sir.
Okay, all the best, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And Kerala there gets a new chief minister. Now, the other top focus, viewers, the Bar Council of India has written to the Bar Council in West Bengal seeking detailed information on the status of former Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee legal practice. Remember, viewers, this move comes after Mamata Banerjee appeared in the Kolkata High Court. She was dressed in lawyer's attire. It is not something that is allowed unless her license is already working. The BCI has directed the State Bar Council to submit a report in 2 days on whether she's currently enrolled with the Bar Council of West Bengal, which is very important. Because if you're not enrolled with the Bar Council, then you cannot be practicing in the Kolkata High Court. This is something that they've asked for. If any intimation was given, they've asked whether regarding the suspension of her practice during her tenure as a chief minister and whether she had filed any subsequent application to resume her legal practice. I want to go across to my colleague Harsha, who's joining us on the story. Harsha, what we've really been told right now is very, very clear. We have to understand and get a sense about whether Mamata Banerjee has been still enrolled as a practicing lawyer. And you know, this is something very basic. The TMC and Mamata Banerjee should have known this. When I was a lawyer and I joined journalism, I had to say I am no longer enrolled with the Delhi High Court Bar Association, and the Bar Council had to know of it. Has Mamata Banerjee or the TMC given any such intimation?
Rhythm, I think you are the best to know the nitty-gritties of the court because you have covered the court for long and you know very well that there are some sort of protocols which need to be followed. You know very well that if a person becomes a chief minister, if she had left the, left practicing, that time also she had given some notice to the Bar Council of India, if she did give and she was doing it that time also, then she had to give a letter to the Kolkata High Court as well. And we have seen two instances, Rhythm. She argued during the time of SIR in the Apex Court, which is Supreme Court of India. At that time also she didn't give any sort of such letter. Now she was presented in Kolkata High Court where she was arguing on the postponed violence issue. In that case also, she just wore the black robe of lawyer. She went inside. She said that I'll argue my own case. But it is still not clear that whether she's fit still to continue as a lawyer. She left practicing. She again is, resuming her practicing. Any sort of such thing she has not presented to the Kolkata High Court. And the Bar Council of India has stated she has to give, the Kolkata High Court will have to now present the detailed report in 2 days to the Bar Council of India on the current status of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. And Mamata Banerjee will have to inform that whether she is resuming her legal practice, she left legal practice, or she continued it at the time of the Chief Minister as well. So all details had to be mentioned written in the detailed report which the Kolkata High Court will be submitting to the Bar Council of India, because she will be present inside the Kolkata High Court, not today, but again as well for the argument which she will put forth in the case of the postponed violence of the issue petitioner has been filed in the Kolkata High Court. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Harsha, for giving us those details. We're going to continuously track whether Mamata Banerjee, in fact, has been seen as a lawyer. Now, viewers, we're going to tell you a horrifying incident in the national capital that once again raises serious questions over women's safety in Delhi. A woman has been gang raped inside a sleeper bus by the driver and the conductor. The incident took place in Delhi's Rani Bagh. Both accused are arrested. The bus in the crime has been seized. The incident, however, reminds us once again of the shocking Nirbhaya incident in 2012. Take a look at this report.
In a shocking incident, a woman was gang raped inside a stationary sleeper bus in Delhi by the driver and conductor of the vehicle. The incident took place on the night of May 11 in Delhi's Rani Bagh area. The survivor was returning home from work when the bus stopped near her. The woman approached a man standing at the bus door to ask for the time. She was then allegedly forced inside the bus. The accused drove the vehicle towards Nangloi and sexually assaulted her. The survivor later approached the police, following which an FIR was registered at Rani Bagh police station. Delhi police have arrested both the accused, bus driver and the conductor. The bus has also been seized and the investigation is now underway. The horrifying case has once again triggered outrage over women's safety in the national capital, despite repeated promises of stricter security measures after the deadly Nirbhaya case in 2012.
Coming up after a short break, RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra has said the government may eventually have to raise fuel prices if Middle East crisis continues. Much more lined up on Republic TV today. Stay on with us.
अरे ये डिबेट बाहर की सोचे विकी। डिबेट यानी विवाद। भारत विवाद नहीं, संवाद यानी कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिस्कशन, इसमें भरोसा रखता है।
सच नरेट नहीं करना होता, नरेटिव को सच बनाना होता है।
जब भी भगवे के ओर कोई कालिक फेंकता है तो उसी स्याही से इतिहास लिखा जाता है।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of Hantavirus.
What we do know is that the Andes virus, in previous outbreaks, there has been instances of human-to-human transmission, mainly among close contacts, either providing clinical care or people who have had close physical contact.
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
Corrector, the taste of success.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation.
ये जशन है, जशन का ये जशन है। अरे राष्ट्रीय इलायची, जशन का जशन। आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
कोई ग्लोबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, इट्स अ टेरर मशीन।
अगर हम टेररिस्ट होते तो टेररिस्ट हमें क्यों मारते?
आरएसएस ने बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी और आरएसएस वायलेंट है।
वो तब गिरा जब इस देश के बहुसंख्यक समाज का विश्वास टूट गया।
आप लोगों ने तो देश चलाने का दावा किया है, लेकिन आप लोगों का ना कोई हिसाब है, ना कोई किताब।
ये चोट निशान छोड़ेगी।
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of Hantavirus.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation, asking citizens to save fuel, avoid unnecessary travel, and even work from home if possible. This urgent appeal comes because global tensions are creating a massive energy crisis that directly threatens India. India currently imports up to 90% of the crude oil it needs to survive, and more than half of that oil comes from the Middle East. But the country is currently facing a massive challenges due to the blockade caused by the US-Iran conflict. And right in the middle of this dangerous situation, an event is about to take place that could make things much worse.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. VD Satasthi named as Kerala's next Chief Minister. Venugopal loses out. Government bans export of sugar with immediate effect till 30th September. RBI Governor says the government may eventually have to raise fuel prices if Middle East crisis continues. After DMK's Udaynidhi Stalin, TVK MLA VMS Mustafa calls for eradication of Sanatan Dharma. One of the accused in NEET paper leak case alleges big names have been shielded. Iranian Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi took part in the BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting. Shocking horror! When is it going to stop? Yet again, a woman is gang raped in a moving bus in the capital. 2 people are arrested. The bus has been seized. The big Trump-Xi handshake in Beijing. He's received grandly, travels with top business leaders. Over 100 killed people killed due to storm in various parts of UP. Bengal government makes Vande Mataram mandatory in all schools in state. National anthem to be followed by Vande Mataram in school assemblies. Good evening, welcome to Republic. I am Rhythm. Our top focus in Manipur, the Kobru Range Liagamai Women's Union has organized a protest at the bazaar located on the borders of Imphal West and Kangpokpi districts. Now, the demonstrators there, viewers, have demanded the immediate and unconditional release of Naga civilians who were abducted allegedly by Kuki groups from the valley and the village of Elon Kuki. The protest was held as a follow-up action to the recent ambush on Thadao Baptist Association church leaders. The Women's Union highlighted the safety and security concerns of the Naga community amid the ongoing ethnic tensions in the state. I have Johnson who's joining us live on the story. And Johnson, the big question, there's unrest yet again in Manipur. The demonstrators demand the unconditional release of Naga civilians who were abducted. What is the ground reality right now?
Yes, Freedom. I'm at a ground zero. I'm at the spot itself at Kangatombi Bazaar, the last village of Imphal West bordering Kapupi district. Yeah, I will show you the background. The women folk of the Liangmai community of Liangmai Naga community right now, they are staging a citizen protest. They are demanding the immediate and unconditional release of those Naga civilians abducted by the Kuki villagers and by Kuki miscreants, armed miscreants of Lailon by 5 village. These armed miscreants, they abducted the Naga civilians from the Konsakul and also from the bordering villages. So right now they are sitting here, the citizen protest. This is along the National Highway to this Imphal Dimapur Road, and this is the last village. This is the last village that borders Imphal West and Kapupi district. So the only demand in the protest is not a violence. They demand only justice. They demand only the peace and unconditional release of those abducted 20 Naga civilians. So in this regard, I will let one of the protesters to talk very exclusively to Republic. So I'll show you. Ma'am, your good name, please. My name is Arnab. Okay, so what is today's protest all about?
Okay.
Want to demand the government to take up the action, serious action, immediately.
So if the government kept silent and without taking up any action, so what is your further step?
We are planning to take up the leaders from Naga, NPO, we'll talk to them to take up the action.
There seems to be a network issue. We're not able to hear that reaction coming in, but the top focus that we're showing you, the unrest continues in Manipur, and we've got Johnson telling us the ground reality and the details that are coming in from Manipur. Viewers, we've been tracking and had for top focus on the NEET paper leak. Republic infiltrated a Telegram group that was allegedly linked to the NEET paper leak racket. We've tracked down the operations on camera. The administrator of the group was caught claiming that they were offering the most authentic paper you will get. Shocking revelations have been made. A NEET paper leak was also being planned. According to sources, the investigating agencies have traced the origin of the leak to Rajasthan, with Yash Yadav emerging as a key link in the question paper trail. It's alleged the leaked paper reached Rajasthan through Yash Yadav, further intensifying the multi-state probe into the scandal. And before we take a look, let's also first, viewers, take a look at our Republic TV exclusive investigation.
बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है, बड़े लोगों को तो बचाया जा रहा है, उनको बचाया जा रहा है.
Republic TV also spoke to the NEET whistleblower who brought the case forward. Take a listen.
NEET paper leak scandal has created a stir not only in a specific state but in entire nation. Everyone had screenshots of literally people asking for 10 to 15 lakhs to get the NEET paper of 2026 examination. First, many students came up with this, but no one believed them. And one such example is here with me right now. I have Deepak Patil with me, who is a second year MBBS student, but he appeared for 2026 NEET examination, and the reason behind it is that he is a mentor. He does mentorship to various students in medical field for the NEET examination. But the most shocking part of this very case is that students approached him, and then they told him very shocking details. And today, exclusively on Republic, we are going to see that what exactly students told him. दीपक जी, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ कि आप ये जो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा है उस पर आप बात कर रहे हैं. तो सबसे पहले आप मुझे बताइए कि आपके साथ क्या हुआ इस एग्जाम सेंटर पे.
मैं 3 मई को एग्ज़ाम देने गया था। मेरा सेंटर लातूर के अंदर मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के, राजस्थानी मारवाड़ी स्कूल बोल के है। मैं पेपर देने गया। मैं एग्ज़ाम देने इसलिए गया था कि सिर्फ मेरा एक उद्देश्य था कि नीट के एग्ज़ाम जो दे रहे लड़के, उनकी मेंटालिटी क्या है, उनका प्रेशर क्या है, मतलब वो मैं उनसे जान सकूं। फिर मैंने उनसे एग्ज़ाम के पहले ही बातचीत की और एग्ज़ाम के बाद भी बातचीत की। बातचीत के दौरान मुझे जब एग्ज़ाम हुआ तो एक लड़के से मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा जो मेरे हॉल के अंदर मेरे पीछे बैठा था। मैंने उसको बोला एग्ज़ाम कैसा गया। फिर उसके बाद उसने मुझे बोला कि वो पेपर मेरे पास पहले ही था। बट मुझे शॉक लगा, मुझे लगा ये कुछ भी बोल रहा है। बट मैं थोड़े आगे जाता हूँ, मैं उससे बातचीत करता हूँ और तो मुझे अंदर पैंट से 2 A4 शीट्स निकालते हैं वाइट, उसके ऊपर डायरेक्टली पूरे आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे। बायोलॉजी, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, पूरे आंसर्स डायरेक्टली उसके ऊपर आंसर्स लिखे हुए थे। मैं वो देख के शॉक हो गया और जैसे मैं 5:10 तक वो मुझे बताया, उसके बाद मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे ये डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है। अनफॉर्चुनेटली मैं उसका फोटो नहीं निकाल पाया, बट मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया। वो सोशल मीडिया पे डालने के बाद मेरे पेज पे वो ज़्यादा वायरल हो गई पोस्ट और मुझे ऐसे मैसेजेस प्राप्त हुए कि लोग खुद से आगे आके बोल रहे कि हमको भी ऐसा मैसेज आया था, हमको भी ऐसा पैसा डिमांड किया गया था, बट हम कुछ कारण से नहीं दे पाए। ऐसे बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट्स है।
पहले हम आगे जाने से पहले ऐसा मैसेज आया था, मतलब क्या मैसेज आया था?
ये आप देख सकते हैं इधर। 6 अप्रैल को मुझे एक मैसेज आया था, जो मैं मेंटरशिप प्रोवाइड करता हूँ स्टुडंट्स को 100% फ्री। वो जूनियर मुझे अप्रोच किया और मुझे वो बताते हैं की मी तुम्हाला हे खूप ट्रस्ट ठेवून सांगते आहे, तुम्ही कोणालाच नका सांगू। माझ्या पप्पाच्या स्टाफला एक सिस्टर आहे, नर्स आहेत त्या, आणि त्यांनी मी या पेपरमध्ये काम करतो नीटच्या एक्झामिनेशनमध्ये आणि मी तुम्हाला पेपर देतो, तुम्ही मला पैसे द्या, अशी मागणी काही लोग करत आहेत। तो जूनियर ती मला मैसेज करून सांगते कि मैं इसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं। फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि नको करूँ, मतलब ये ट्रस्ट करने लायक नहीं, इट्स फेक, 100% फेक। तो उसने आगे भी लिखा है कि वो 1 ईयर से मेरे से संपर्क के अंदर है, मेरे पापा के जिधर मेरे पापा काम करते उधर मेरे संपर्क के अंदर है और उन्होंने 50K पैसे ऑलरेडी लिया भी है। ये आप लाइव स्क्रीनशॉट
ये 50K किससे लिया है उन्होंने पैसे?
जो स्टूडेंट है जो अभी नीट देने वाला है उसके पापा से लिए है।
ओके,
यस।
ये वो स्टूडेंट बात करिए जो इस साल नीट का एग्जाम
कि ये मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ कि नहीं, एज अ मेंटी मैं उसका मेंटर हूँ, मुझे बता रही है कि वो मैं उसके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करूँ या नहीं, या पढ़ाई करूँ।
ये बात है। तो बिफोर वी मूव फॉरवर्ड, द मैसेज विच वॉज रिसीव्ड बाय दीपक पाटिल is the translation of that very message is that because as he mentioned earlier, he is a mentor, he does mentorship to various medical field students. One particular student approaches him and then she says that there is one guy in her staff where her father works. From that very staff, a person is approaching her. He is saying that I have paper, you can pay me for that, and then he is being constantly in contact with her from last 1 year. This is a very shocking thing, and already she has paid 50,000 rupees to that particular person. This is very shocking, and now we can see that this is a very big nexus behind it, because this particular NEET paper leak scam is under construction or was underway from last 1 year. So moving forward, दीपक जी आप बताइए कि इससे आगे क्या हुआ? आपको अभी ऐसे कितने सारे स्टूडेंट्स अप्रोच?
जो सोशल मीडिया पे मैंने पोस्ट डाली वो वायरल गई, कुछ लैक्स में उसको व्यूज आए, अभी तक मिलियंस में उसको व्यूज आए, और जो लोग उस ग्रुप के अंदर थे बट वो खरीद नहीं पाए, उन्होंने मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट भेजे, अनेक वीडियो भेजे, बट मैं वो सोशल मीडिया पे डाल दिया, वो भी वायरल चला गया। बट कुछ लोगों का ऐसा कहना था कि ये एडिटर है और AI की मदद से हम ऐसे तैयार कर सकते, बट अभी NTA ने और CBI ने एक कंफर्म कर लिया है कि पेपर लीक हो चुका है। उसके मेरे पास बहुत सारे स्क्रीनशॉट भी अवेलेबल है और वीडियो भी अवेलेबल है।
ओके, तो आप हमें ये जो पहले टेलीग्राम पे आया था, फिर कुछ प्राइवेट मीडिया नाम का एक ग्रुप भी बना था, तो आपके पास उस रिलेटेड कोई स्क्रीनशॉट आया है कि हाँ हमसे ऐसी ऐसी मांग की गई थी?
यस, वो डायरेक्टली मांग की, वैसा स्क्रीनशॉट भी हमारे पास है।
तो वो स्क्रीनशॉट में क्या है बताना जरा।
वो बोल रहे कि फीस 2,000 दीजिए, फीस 20,000 दीजिए और पेपर लीजिए। जो पेपर बाय नहीं कर रहे हैं वो 101% नीट क्रैक नहीं कर सकते, उम्मीद ही मत करना, ठीक है। और कुछ स्क्रीनशॉट ऐसे है कि मतलब बिफोर पेपर 30K देना, आफ्टर पेपर 70K देना, और ये जो चार्ट से मतलब रिसेंट एग्जाम के 1 हफ्ते पहले है, मतलब पहले तो उन्होंने पेपर लैक्स में भेजा, अभी वो 1 लाख पे आ गए, पहले 10 लाख भी 15 लाख में भेजा, अभी 1 लाख के अंदर आ गए। उनका एक ही मकसद है, पैसे कमाना है। और उसके अंदर 2 टाइप के स्कैम हुए, जो लोग सच में पैसे लेके पेपर लीक भी कर चुके, वो पेपर सही था, और कुछ लोगों से ऐसे पैसे लिए गए मैं पेपर दूंगा बट वो पेपर फेक था। मतलब स्टूडेंट्स की जो है जो दो तरीके से यहाँ पर क्या बोल रहे हैं हम, चीट किया जा रहा है लड़कों को कि मतलब, और इस कोटा से भी एक ऐसा उदाहरण आया मेरे पास, वो स्टूडेंट ने अप्रोच किया कि राजस्थान कोटा से, जो इंडिया का मोस्ट बिगेस्ट ट्यूशन हब है, उधर से एक स्टूडेंट ने ही सबसे 24 लाख रुपए जमा किए पेपर दूंगा बोल के, बट वो पेपर नहीं दे पाया और उसके ऊपर वो स्टूडेंट ने कुछ तो एक्शन भी लिया, ऐसे भी प्रूफ हमारे पास है।
We also spoke to Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta. Listen in.
सभी एजेंसीज अपना काम कर रही है, सरकार अपना काम कर रही है, और मुझे लगता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जैसे लोग जो हर विषय का राजनीतिकरण करते हैं, उनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए कि देश के युवाओं को जिस तरीके से आप गुमराह कर रहे हैं, आपने ना कभी अपने समय में सत्ता सरकार को ठीक से चलाया। आज भी आपके पास पंजाब है जहां पे युवा नशे में लत होकर के, आपके मुख्यमंत्री नशे में लत होकर के घूमते हैं। आपके पास उन पे बात करने के लिए समय नहीं है, परंतु आप देश के हर एक ऐसा विषय जो कि बहुत ही संवेदनशील है, उस पे ऊल जलूल बातें जब करते हैं तो उनको सच में हम सब जनता ये कहना चाहती है कि आप कृपया करके देश के युवाओं को गुमराह करने की कोशिश ना करें।
Viewers, a killer storm has claimed the lives of over 100 people across Uttar Pradesh, with fatalities being reported from Bhadohi, Prayagraj and Mirzapur. The storm has also brought down large trees, electric poles, disrupting communication across the strait. Here's a report.
Uttar Pradesh bore the brunt of a severe storm, with over 100 people losing their lives and many others suffering injuries. Dramatic visuals show the extent of damage across Uttar Pradesh, with a particularly shocking video showing a man being tossed across the air during the storm. Communication across the state also suffers as fierce winds brought down large trees and electric poles. Deaths and destruction was reported from all over the state, with 18 fatalities reported from Bhadohi, while 17 were killed in Prayagraj. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath directed the disbursement of compensation within the next 24 hours.
Vijay put on a Sanatana Dharma test. Vijay's MLAs declare war on Sanatan. Secular party or a DMK duplicate? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Presented by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies since 1820. TVS iQube, India's favorite family EV.
Viewers, we're going to give you the biggest story of the day now. 16-day hearing. The 9-judge bench in the Supreme Court has reserved its verdict in the Sabarimala reference case. This was a 9-judge bench that was led by the Chief Justice of India, Surya Kant, comprising of Justices B.V. Nagratna, M.M. Sundaresh, Amanullah, Arvind Kumar, Augustine George, Masi, Prasanna Varale, Mahadevan and Joy Malia Bagchi. They will be pronouncing the order on this. But viewers, this was a marathon hearing in the Sabarimala case, where we saw the likes of Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, from him to others who were giving out details about what really is going to happen and what should happen in this case. Remember, Supreme Court has now reserved the verdict after a 16-day long marathon hearing. And viewers, this matter is going to be looking at the Supreme Court's 2018 verdict, which allowed women of all ages to enter the Sabarimala temple in Kerala. The 2018 judgment was overturning a custom restriction to the entry of women of menstruating ages to the hilltop shrine. I remember when this case was happening in 2018, we were present in court when we were seeing all the details that were being given out by the judges at that time, and the questions being raised, and also the arguments that were there before the court. Now this marathon Sabarimala case heard Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. It heard, and this was going to really question about the display of what is really important. The article or 25, which is freedom of religion, or whether it's going to be Article 14 that's important. Remember, Mukul Rohatgi, senior advocate, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, senior advocate, J-Sai, Deepak and others made their arguments. Eklavya Dwivedi also made his arguments. And present before the court was also the Parsi woman who challenged her excommunication for marrying a Hindu man. This will impact all other religions also. And therefore, as Mukul Rohatgi viewers had stated in this case, in the last 75 years, there has in fact been no excommunication at all. It's not as though there exists some arbitrary or diabolical authority that constantly is telling people, threatening them that this will happen. Nothing has happened for decades. We've heard those arguments. We've heard senior advocate Gopal Subramaniam give and say there's a distinction between religion and religious denomination. Then we've heard also others who appeared in this case. There was Rajiv Dhawan, senior advocate, who appeared and argued on the limited scope of judicial interference in religious matters. Viewers, to put it simply, all of them are saying that whatever's happening at Sabarimala is a religious matter, and there can be no scope of interference from the top court of the country. 9 judges, historic, heard this matter. We've also heard senior advocate Rakesh Dwivedi there in his expressing concerns about the expression of Hinduism as a way of life. We also saw amicus curiae, senior advocate K. Parmeshwar appeared in the Sabarimala case, and he was also looking at and supporting senior advocate Gopal Subramaniam's view in the matter. Viewers, it's been clearly seen. Let me go across to Swapnil Kothari joining us on the phone line. Swapnil, this was a hearing that has closely been watched. We've seen what senior advocate and everybody said. I want to also, before I hand across to you, go across to what the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta said when he said he objects to the objections that have been raised in this case. He is only trying to understand that judicial review does not mean that one can interfere in religious matters. How do you look at it, Swapnil?
Well, I think, Rhythm, as I understand, I think the judgment has been reserved. But this is the comment of Tushar Mehta. So what he's basically trying to tell you is that the judiciary should not interfere within religious matters, especially when there is a particular action or a part or something that is peculiar to a particular religion. So basically, his argument is that the judicial review does not extend to that aspect because it unnecessarily lets the court into a territory which is not in itself governed by the courts or governed by the judiciary. So he wants that the Supreme Court should stay out of it. Indirect suggestion to that. That is surprisingly after so many days of hearing. But, I'm sure he must have started his arguments with that also. But be that as it may, this is what it is. And he wants to say that basically the judiciary needs to stay out of it and let the people decide, because it is a secular practice, it's a secular country. So each religion has its specific norm, has its specific rule. And let the people of the country decide rather than the judiciary itself. So if there is a certain, governing body of that particular temple, then let that governing body decide. But now that it has reached the Supreme Court and there are constitutional questions involved, so the Supreme Court should answer on the constitutional questions.
All right. Thank you, Swapnil, for giving us those details. And exactly what Swapnil is saying is very critical to understand, as the Solicitor General also told the court that we have to understand that Article 25 and 26, which is the right to religion and fundamental right, cannot be in isolated silos. And we also need to understand that in this particular case, Sabarimala practice is not a case of gender exclusion. It's a unique women-centric devotion to a celibate deity, Brahmachari Lord Ayappa. We also saw other top senior advocates give out contextually what had to happen in this case. So Tushar Mehta, SG, also maintained Indian society is not patriarchal in the Western understanding, and therefore the court should not apply its mind to social, should not be in this case, which applies to social reforms to spiritual traditions. Chinese President Xi Jinping has hosted a welcoming ceremony for visiting US President Donald Trump in Beijing on Thursday. Donald Trump and Xi stood side by side for the playing of their country's national anthems before inspecting the military guard of honor. They later held a meeting. Take a look at this report.
US President Donald Trump received a grand welcome in Beijing today. Trump arrived at the Great Hall of the People in Tiananmen Square, where he was greeted by Chinese President Xi Jinping. Senior U.S. officials, including Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, along with top American business leaders such as Elon Musk, were part of the visiting delegation. Trump received the Guard of Honor as the two leaders stood side by side while their national anthems were played. The U.S. national anthem echoed through Beijing as a Chinese military band performed it at the Great Hall of the People. The two leaders were later seen walking together along the red carpet, speaking as hundreds of school children waved Chinese and American flags while welcoming them. The high-profile welcome was followed by a crucial bilateral meet between the two leaders. During the opening remarks, Xi Jinping said China and United States could move beyond the so-called Thucydides trap and set a new example for ties between major powers. President Trump also remarked both nations had always worked through differences quickly and expressed confidence about a fantastic future together. Trump also underlined the presence of leading American business executives accompanying him on the visit.
I just want to say on behalf of all of the great delegation that we have the greatest businessmen, the biggest, and I guess the best in the world. We have amazing people, and they're all with me. Every single one of them, we asked the top 30 in the world, every single one of them said yes. And I didn't want the second or the third in the company. I wanted only the top. And they're here today to pay respects to you and to China. And they look forward to trade and doing business, and it's going to be totally reciprocal on our behalf. So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those that say this is maybe the biggest summit ever. They can never remember anything like it. I can say in the United States, people aren't talking about anything else.
Amid growing global attention on the summit, stability in US-China relations remains the key focus of the two-day summit.
And viewers, at the BRICS foreign ministers meeting, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says these crimes in the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. That false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, he says, calls upon BRICS member states and responsible members of the international community to condemn the violations by US, including their aggression in Iran. Take a look at what he said.
See, Dr. Jaishankar, Honorable Minister of External Affairs of India, Honorable Minister, why ready to fight with everything we have in defense of our freedom and our soil? We are equally ready to pursue and defend diplomacy. As I have repeatedly stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat, but we reciprocate the language of respect. As much as our powerful armed forces remain ready to exact devastating retribution on foreign aggressors, my people are peace-loving and do not seek war. We are not aggressor in this sordid situation, but the aggrieved. These crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. That false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, calls upon BRICS member states and all responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of international law by the United States and Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran, a member of BRICS, prevent the politicization of international institutions, and take concrete action to halt warmongering and to bring an end to the impunity of those who violate the UN Charter. Those who pursue reckless adventures may believe it furthers their geopolitical interests, but as consumers and governments around the world now sense and understand, regional instability is a lose-lose proposition for all sides, including the aggressors. To virtually everyone in this room, our resistance against US bullying is not an unfamiliar battle. So many of us encounter slight variations of the same repugnant coercion. It is high time for us to jointly step up and work towards making clear that those practices belong in the dustbin of history. Today, our nations are closer to one another than ever before, and we cannot ignore the common and dangerous challenge we all face. History has shown that empires in decline will stop at nothing to arrest their inevitable fates. A wounded animal will desperately claw and roar on its way down.
Iran war tensions, rising fuel prices, BRICS in New Delhi being closely monitored globally. This is India's crucial diplomatic moment. On Our Global today at 6:30 p.m. Good evening. We're going to get you a power-packed bulletin with what's been there and on the charts for India globally when it comes to the BRICS summit and how it's our diplomatic moment. We're also going to be telling you what's happening in that meeting between Trump and Xi. But first, we're going to tell you about Kerala and how their new chief minister has been chosen and voted in.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
VD Satishan named as Kerala's next chief minister. Venugopal loses out. Government bans export of sugar with immediate effect till 30th September. RBI governor says the government may eventually have to raise fuel prices if Middle East crisis continues. TVK is now attacking one MLA of TVK. VMS Mustafa calls for eradication of Sanatan Dharma. One of the accused in NEET paper leak case alleges big names have been shielded. Iranian Foreign Minister Saeed Abbas Araghchi took part in BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting in New Delhi. It's a deja vu. A woman is gang raped in a moving bus in Delhi yet again. After 2012 Nirbhaya, there is no shame, no remorse. Donald Trump is in Beijing for bilateral talks. He receives a grand welcome, travels with top business leaders. Over 100 people killed due to storm in various parts of Uttar Pradesh. And Bengal government makes Vande Mataram mandatory in all schools in the state. National anthem to be followed by Vande Mataram in school assemblies. We're going across to visuals that are coming in on the protests in Manipur that have intensified. These are marking the years of ethnic conflict between the Meitei and the Kuki-Zo communities. Recent demonstrations were driven by killings. There's been rising violence and protest that has been seen. We can see one such protest that is taking place which says kidnapping is not justice. There's been widespread shutdown. Intense protests following the series of killing, including the deadly ambush of church leaders, a bomb attack in Bishnupur. And various groups are including and stating they've called for shutdown to mark the 2 years of conflict. There are security concerns that are being seen. People have been seen, protesters involved in clashes with security forces. The demands of the demonstration are simple. They want a resolution to the conflict. Let me go across to Johnson. Johnson, you're looking at scenes there of unrest in Manipur and now this demonstration. What are you picking up as the ground reality of this unrest?
Yes, Rhythm. The exact ground reality is that in yesterday's ambush, 3,000 leaders were killed, and one of the Jirunaga village civilian was killed in ambush. That happened in two different places yesterday. So as a follow-up of that earlier ambush that happened on early morning around 10 a.m., 20 Naga civilians were abducted by the Kuki villagers and Kuki miscreants, as report from the Naga side. So they were abducted from Pansakul Naga villages, and as a result, those arrested, as of now, they have not been released, and their whereabouts are not known. So in Kangatombi, this Kangatombi is one of the last villages that borders Imphal West and Kampupi district. So the women folk of this Liangmai group, they came out on street, they protest and so crying various slogans, including the immediate release and unconditional release of those Naga civilians that have been abducted from yesterday. And those this protest, they demand, they seek the consent of the government to act accordingly, and also to act, seriously, to go on operation, so to find out where are those 20 civilians that have been abducted since yesterday. As of now, the protest is organized along this National Highway 2 Imphal Dimapur Road, and the protesters, they are staging on road at Kangatombi Bazaar itself. So the protesters' cries, their demand is very clear and simple. They don't demand for further violence. They demand for peace, for justice, and also the immediate release without any condition of those abducted 20 Naga civilians. Back to you.
Thank you, Johnson, for giving us that update, focusing completely on that unrest in Manipur. We're going to track it closely. And now we show you a Republic exclusive in the Pune angle of the NEET paper leak case. The crime branch has detained Manish Sanjay Vagmare, a 46-year-old beautician. She runs her own beauty parlor in Pune. Investigations reveal 10 lakh rupees was deposited into her bank account from 21 different accounts during the examination period. There was a second-year engineering student along with her. There was an Ayurvedic doctor from Junar and also from Wagholi, Dhananjay. They're all under investigation. I want to go across to my colleagues who are joining us on this big exclusive investigation that they have done. But let me give you a view of who these people are. Dhananjay Lokande, Shubham Kharinar, NEET leak suspect, and also the beautician Manisha Vagmare. Now, viewers, let me tell you, police sources are telling Republic TV they've been in contact with the accused, that Vagmare was in contact with the accused for 3 years. He admits to knowing them. She has, however, not given out details about the planned delivery of the paper. However, her mobile phone records confirm the multiple fund transfers. Let me go across to Swarali, who's joining us. Swarali, what is it that the police is picking up? They're trying to show that there was a deep conspiracy. How are they going to be going around that?
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you, if we talk about all the 3 people who have been detained from Pune, to be very specific, Manisha Vagmare, who is 46 years old and is a beautician and has her own beauty parlor. Let me tell you that 10 lakh rupees has been deposited in her account from 23 different accounts. Now, currently, CBI is currently investigating about the owners and whereabouts of the actual details of all the 21 accounts holders. On the other hand, if we talk about Omkar, who is second-year engineering student, and Dhananjay Lokhande, who is an Ayurvedic doctor from Junnar, is being detained from Wagholi. All of them are being investigated. Manisha Vagmare got into this syndicate. Allegedly, it is suspected that these 10 lakh rupees which are being deposited are related to the transactions for the buying or selling of the NEET paper. Allegedly, all these angles are being investigated right now. On the other hand, she has also accepted that she was in contact with accused since last 3 years. Now, she has not exactly revealed the date of appearance of the NEET paper, but all of this transaction has happened during the procedure of NEET papers when the exam was supposed to be conducted. All the timelines are fishy, and that's why all the angles are being investigated right now. All the 3 are detained. Also, some more students will be detained in Pune. Is what we are collecting right now.
All right. Thank you for giving us that update. We're going to track the story very, very closely. These people need to be punished, Swarali. Viewers, our top focus was rising fuel prices. Global economic uncertainty continue to shake international markets. The BRICS foreign ministers meeting that's going to happen and is currently happening in New Delhi is crucial for talks on security, for energy, for cooperation. The high-level meeting is coming at a very sensitive geopolitical moment. It's India's diplomatic moment. There are divisions within the bloc over the Iran conflict, also testing BRICS unity ahead of this year's summit in India.
BRICS foreign ministers gathered in New Delhi Thursday for high-level talks on global conflicts, energy security and economic uncertainty.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi will be a huge stakeholder in the talks, with the conflict in West Asia, of course, being a dominant discussion that will take place in Bharat Mandapam today. And this meeting is a procedural precursor that comes before India's BRICS summit hostership that will come 3 months from now in September.
Top diplomats from Russia, Iran, Brazil, South Africa and Indonesia joined Indian Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar at Bharat Mandapam for the two-day meeting.
We meet at a time of considerable flux in international relations. Ongoing conflicts, economic uncertainties and challenges in trade and technology and climate are shaping the global landscape. There is a growing expectation, particularly from emerging markets and developing countries, that BRICS will play a constructive and stabilizing role.
The talks come as the Iran conflict disrupts global energy supplies and pushes oil prices higher. Concerns over the Strait of Hormuz are adding pressure on energy-dependent economies. India said discussions would focus on economic resilience, supply chains, food security and cooperation among developing nations. Jaishankar called on BRICS to play a stabilizing global role.
In this background, our discussions today are an opportunity to reflect on global and regional developments and to consider practical ways to strengthen our cooperation. Development issues remain central. Many countries face challenges on energy, food, fertilizer and health security, as also access to finance. BRICS can help them respond more effectively. Economic resilience is also key. Reliable supply chains and diversified markets are its essential components. We must focus on both.
Divisions within BRICS remain visible over the Iran war and the Middle East crisis. Differences between Iran and the UAE have complicated efforts for a joint position. The meeting is also taking place during Donald Trump's visit to China. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi skipped the summit, with Beijing represented by its ambassador to India. Expanded in recent years, BRICS is seeking a bigger global role as a voice for the global south. The New Delhi meeting will help set the agenda for the BRICS summit in September.
NEET scandal. Big name shielded. Republic investigation blows the lid. Republic tracks down the NEET cheats. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Presenting by Zoho Business Software, trusted by 15 crore users. Co-powered by IIHM International Institute of Hotel Management.
We're getting you breaking news, viewers. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has now called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today and briefed him on the progress that's been made in the bilateral cooperation since the 23rd India-Russia annual summit held in 2025 December. During the meeting, both sides exchanged views on various regional and global issues, including the situation in Ukraine and West Asia. Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's consistent position in favor of dialogue and diplomacy as the best way forward for resolving conflicts. Prime Minister has also asked Sergei Lavrov, the Finance Minister of Russia, to convey his warm greetings to President Vladimir Putin. Viewers, this is a report we keep coming back to. It's horrific and there are no lessons learned. In the national capital, once again, serious questions over women's safety are being raised. A woman is gang raped inside a sleeper bus by the driver and the conductor. This happened in Delhi's Rani Bagh. They've been arrested. The bus has been seized. But this incident reminds us again of the shocking 2012 Nirbhaya incident.
In a shocking incident, a woman was gang raped inside a stationary sleeper bus in Delhi by the driver and conductor of the vehicle. The incident took place on the night of May 11 in Delhi's Rani Bagh area. The survivor was returning home from work when the bus stopped near her. The woman approached a man standing at the bus door to ask for the time. She was then allegedly forced inside the bus. The accused drove the vehicle towards Nangloi and sexually assaulted her. The survivor later approached the police, following which an FIR was registered at Rani Bagh police station. Delhi police have arrested both the accused, bus driver and the conductor. The bus has also been seized and the investigation is now underway. The horrifying case has once again triggered outrage over women's safety in the national capital, despite repeated promises of stricter security measures after the deadly Nirbhaya case in 2012.
Well, once again, there was internal fighting within the Congress, and this time it was for the Kerala Chief Minister. However, today, V.D. Satishan has been named as the next Chief Minister of Kerala, ending days of suspense and speculation about the matter. Congress picked V.D. Satishan over K.C. Venugopal, who's been considered close to the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha.
Congress finally announced today that V.D. Satishan is elected as the leader of the Congress Legislative Party. 10 days of whisper, waiting and political chess finally came to an end on Thursday. The road to this decision was far from smooth. The party's central leadership held wider consultation with the uncertainty continued for days, even after party observers Markan and Vasnik met Congress MLAs.
The Congress Legislature Party had met in Thiruvananthapuram on May 7, 2026, and had unanimously resolved to authorize the Congress President to appoint the new leader of the CLP in the state of Kerala. Based on all these discussions, it has been decided that Shri V.D. Satishan be appointed as the leader of the CLP.
It's a historic footnote that the LDF's defeat in Kerala marks the first time in 50 years that no state in India has any communist party in power. UDF leaders V.D. Satishan secured a decisive victory with margins exceeding 20,000 votes. The 2026 Kerala Assembly election concluded with a historic landslide for the Congress-led UDF, which secured a commanding 102 seats of the 140, cementing Satishan's influence within the alliance.
I express my gratitude. I'm very grateful to the AICC leadership because our CLP adopted a resolution entrusting the Congress President to take a decision. Congress President having discussion with Congress President and Rahul ji, Priyanka ji and all other leaders, in charge General Secretary, they discussed with all the leaders. That was the procedure. Former President's Working Committee members, the cross-section of the people, they discussed, they have taken a decision. Now, I dedicate this Chief Ministership to the people of Kerala. We have offered many things to the people. We are going through the vulnerable situation. We have to make changes. We have to start a new era. I promise to the people of Kerala that there should be a new Kerala.
Satishan said he's looking forward to building a new Keralam. According to Satishan, Keralam is going through a tough time. and he would need the support of the opposition to rebuild the state. In a notable, humble and emotional tone, Satishan said that he does not see this position as a personal achievement, but as something divine. The Indian National Congress emerged as the dominant force with 63 seats. As of now, the swearing-in ceremony is reportedly scheduled for Monday, and it has been a big week for Kerala.
Iran war tensions, rising fuel prices, BRICS in New Delhi being closely monitored globally. This is India's crucial diplomatic moment. On Our Global Today at 6:30 p.m.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा और मसाला।
ये सब आप इसलिए कर रहे हैं ना सर, ताकि आप अपने आरएसएस को बचा सके। वैसे भी आप आरएसएस के भोपोई तो है। आरएसएस का सच है मेरी थीसिस, जो सालों से छुपाया गया है। But I am going to unmask the truth.
क्लास अब शुरू होगी because the professor is here.
ये जो भी हो रहा है, ये injustice, ये conspiracies, ये manipulation, अगर आप इसको terrorism नहीं कहेंगे तो फिर किसको कहेंगे? ये है मेरा आखिरी सवाल. This is my last question to you.
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of hantavirus.
What we do know is that the Andes virus, in previous outbreaks, there has been instances of human-to-human transmission, mainly among close contacts, either providing clinical care or people who have had close physical contact.
For the decades that scientists have known about hantavirus, they've almost always believed that the only way you can get it is from being in contact with the droppings, the dried urine of mice or other rodents. Saying this is not the next pandemic, this is not the next epidemic, this is a cluster of cases, a very unusual situation that is not expected to spread its tentacles across the world and across the United States. We've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of hantavirus. It's called an Andes virus. It's a hantavirus from South America. And it's the one type of hantavirus that scientists...
अरे ये डिबेट बाहर की सोचे विकी डिबेट यानी विवाद भारत विवाद नहीं संवाद यानी कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिस्कशन इसमें भरोसा रखता है
सच नरेट नहीं करना होता नरेटिव को सच बनाना होता है
जब भी भगवे के ओर कोई कालिक दिखता है तो उसी स्याही से इतिहास लिखा जाता है
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रूंगटा स्टील TMT से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील पीएम की बात एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation, asking citizens to save fuel, avoid unnecessary travel, and even work from home if possible. This urgent appeal comes because global tensions are creating a massive energy crisis that directly threatens India. India currently imports up to 90% of the crude oil it needs to survive, and more than half of that oil comes from the Middle East. But the country is currently facing a massive challenges due to the blockade caused by the US-Iran conflict. And right in the middle of this dangerous situation, an event is about to take place that could make things much worse. United States President Donald Trump is traveling to Beijing to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. While the news might focus on their discussions about trade rules, technology, or artificial intelligence.
कोशिश को कामयाबी, कामयाबी को शोहरत बनते देखा है। हाँ, पिछले 60 सालों में मैंने देश को बनते देखा है। कमला पसंद, 60 सालों से अनोखा स्वाद।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा सिप। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
कोई ग्लोबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, इट्स अ टेरर मशीन।
अगर हम टेररिस्ट होते तो टेररिस्ट हमें क्यों मारते?
आरएसएस ने बाबरी मस्जिद तोड़ी और आरएसएस वायलेंट है।
वो तब गिरा जब इस देश के बहुसंख्यक समाज का विश्वास टूट गया।
आप लोगों ने तो देश चलाने का दावा किया है, लेकिन आप लोगों का ना कोई हिसाब है ना कोई किताब।
ये चोट निशान छोड़ेगी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
This week, we've seen a developing investigation into a cluster, a very unusual cluster of cases of a certain type of Hantavirus.
What we do know is that the Andes virus, in previous outbreaks, there has been instances of human-to-human transmission. Close contacts, either providing clinical care or people who have had close physical contact.
For the decades that scientists have known about Hantavirus, they've almost always believed that the only way you can get it is from being in contact with the droppings, the dried urine of mice or other rodents. Saying this is not the next pandemic, this is not the next epidemic, this is a cluster of cases, a very unusual situation that is not expected to spread its tentacles across the world and across the United States.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management. Call 983-10-50,000.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
हमें पेट्रोल डीजल का उपयोग कम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently issued a strong warning to the nation, asking citizens to save fuel, avoid unnecessary travel, and even work from home if possible. This urgent appeal comes because global tensions are creating a massive energy crisis that directly threatens India. India currently imports up to 90% of the crude oil it needs to survive, and more than half of that oil comes from the Middle East. But the country is currently facing a massive challenges due to the blockade caused by the US-Iran conflict. And right in the middle of this dangerous situation, an event is about to take place that could make things much worse. United States President Donald Trump is traveling to Beijing to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. While the news might focus on their discussions about trade rules, technology, or artificial intelligence, the most critical topic for India is what these two leaders will decide regarding the Middle East and global oil supplies. The choices made during this specific meeting will determine if India will have enough fuel for its vehicle or if the country will face a severe shortage at the petrol pumps. The biggest risk for New Delhi involves a major shift in how China buys its energy. Currently, China is the main buyer of Iranian oil, taking in about 1.5 million barrels a day. This discounted oil keeps the global...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on The Verdict. The elections have ended, but the aftermath of the elections as governments just continue to be formed in the 5 battleground states. We are focusing on Kerala today and in Tamil Nadu. In Kerala, finally the Congress party has found the courage to name the leader who could be the chief minister. V.D. Satishan is his name, and he has beaten K.C. Venugopal to the post. All that and more coming up. We have an interview with Satishan this evening. Here are the headlines on The Verdict.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
V.D. Satishan, all set to be the next Kerala Chief Minister. After DMK's Udaynidhi's Stalin, TVK MLA Mustafa calls for eradication of Sanatan Dharma as they attack Hindus.